Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. Oh my god, that's so loud in my ears. Let me know if the game is loud for you guys too. The title screen is pretty loud, so we're just gonna skip to the main menu. Let's go here. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to try a series where I talk about like some of my favorite older games, because there's a lot of games where, I'd want to play them like on stream. It's a little loud, but not deafening. Yeah, it's just that title screen's so loud, and a lot of cutscenes are, so I might have to adjust the game volume. But I wanted to play through like a lot of older games, but like I don't like committing full series to them. But there's like so much of these games that I like want to play through, so I thought I could like dedicate like a series where I play through these games and have like save points where I can jump from point to point, because like you always got to go through the intro of a game, but like whenever you play a game, I get this feeling too when I replay them sometimes, where it's like you're enjoying it, you're having a good time with your memories, and then you get to that part. You get to that part where you're like, oh man, I remember I hated this part. And so what I essentially did was I created save points that would jump us over that parts of the game. So we're gonna jump into this new game because there's a lot I want to talk about. Jet Force Gemini. It's a really cool third-person shooter from Rareware. So if you played games in the past like what is it, Banjo-Kazooie or Conker's Bad Fur Day or Donkey Kong 64 or Diddy Kong Racing, I can't spell. They made all those games. They made so many great games in the N64 era. I actually looked it up last night. I wanted to like be able to talk about a couple of stuff while like cutscenes would be going on, but this was actually the sixth game. Misspelling how your name is now spreading to even. I know, it's infecting me. They were. This was actually the sixth game they made out of the 11 games they created for the console. So I feel like it's interesting because like there's a lot of ideas. Like it has so many collectathon elements, but I feel like it also takes a lot of inspiration from GoldenEye 007 while also trying to be a third-person shooter instead of a first-person shooter. So here we have the main characters of Jet Force Gemini. We have Vila, we have Lupus the dog, and we have Juno, who's like sort of like the captain of the spaceship. And they're trying to protect Earth. They're like sort of like space cops. And then their ship gets boarded. So then they're like, oh shoot, what's happening? And you're pretty much introduced immediately to the main enemies of the game. You can see that they're getting invaded, and right as this happens, you just throw this cup of coffee, and it had the same effect as the blood splat as you see later in the game. So they're getting this warning notice. You can see that these little guys, they look like koalas. They're called tribals, and they're sort of like the things that you're supposed to collect in the game. You gotta rescue them from these are called drones, which I guess makes sense because they're ants, but these drones these drones are what's like your main enemy. They like have guns, they're like controlled by some big cockroach-looking dude named Mizar. And so the whole game is pretty much you running through worlds, taking on all these bugs, and trying to save all the tribals. It's fairly straightforward, but I think it's interesting how it plays out being like a third-person shooter in an era where, or on a console where, shooters weren't all that common, especially in the third person. And here we get blown up. I'm about to comment on something here. He has a machine gun here. You can see that's the machine gun model in his hand. But you'll see when we land, we're not actually going to get the machine gun. That little bit of continuity always made me upset, that in cutscenes, characters will have weapons that they never actually get when you start out with them. But yeah, you see Vila and Lupus are running on their treadmills, transporting themselves to their personal spaceships. And it's really cool because you get to like switch around between all these three characters. So each of these characters, like, they play like marginally different from one another, but it's really cool how that sort of integrates in the exploration of the worlds, which the game at first feels very linear because, the way it starts, each character goes through one world at a time or they go through 3 worlds. So you can see this is the character select screen. We're playing as Juno because obviously the other 2 have left. And I don't know, I feel like the game does a really good job of building itself up, like giving you the time to play as all these 3 characters, and then it just like mixes everything up. Like imagine like you're playing like Mario 64, And, you know, Mario could do all this stuff. And then, actually, I think Mario 64 DS did this, where, you know, you play as Mario, and you rescued all your friends, like you rescued Luigi and Yoshi and Wario. And they each have their own special ways of, like, going through certain levels, so, like, you needed to play as them instead of Mario to get all the stars. And I think that's really neat, like, the game teases you at multiple points at things that you can and can't do. And actually, once we go through some of this introductory stuff, even as early as the first world, the first room in the game does this, where there's going to be things that you can't get, and you think about how you'll be able to do it, but the game sort of comes together halfway through when it stops being linear and starts being more, like, open exploration. So I actually don't even know what these NPCs do. He's just introducing us. This guy is sort of the ambassador of this world. There's a lot of NPCs, too, in this game. I played this game for the first time when I was, like, 5 or 6. And back when I played it the first time then, I, like, did not know a single thing that was going on. So anyway, here's how the game works, how you move around in the game. You have a third-person perspective. You can aim with a sort of crosshair. You can strafe around. Aiming in this mode is really strange, because you gotta hold down the R button. So you get this crosshair, and it does what I hate in a lot of N64 shooters, and that is pressing down on the control stick aims you up, pressing up aims you down. I cannot stand, like, pilot control aiming. It messes with my mind every time. And then I go back to a game that doesn't have pirate control like cameras, and I just can't deal with it. Inverted controls mess me up. Like, if I hadn't been playing this prior to doing the stream, my brain would be completely destroyed right now. So you can see we only have one gun right now. The Z button is a shoot button. That's also another thing that I think is really interesting, is that the Z button is what shoots. But, like, nowadays, modern shooters, you're always shooting with the right trigger. So that's also something to get used to, shooting with, like, your left hand instead of your right hand when you're playing these kinds of games. And the jump button, instead of being on something like A or B, is on the up button on the C-pad, because remember, the N64 didn't have 2 sticks. So they had to figure out how they wanted you to sort of move around with aiming and everything, and, like, all that. It's like when you're strafe, or when you're aiming like this, your movement actually gets bound to the C keys, like the C-pad, which I think is really interesting. Yeah, Z is the... Oh, that's cool. I would have thought it would be A in those games too, but that makes sense, you know? Because, you know, you're moving around with the control stick, and, like, Z is, like, the button you'd be able to press the easiest or the most conveniently. Anyway, here we sort of get some exposition into the world of Jet Force Gemini. This is the king of the tribals, and he talks about what happened, like, why everything is going on, and we'll see. You know, you see this battleship here comes to invade the planet. We'll just watch through this just to see, like, the classic N64 era, like, animations, N64, like, cinematics. So you can see they were planning that their invasion on the battleship Sekhmet, I think is how it's pronounced. I think it's an Egyptian word. Giving you a configuration that you can hold the controller. Yeah, that's why the N64 had the triple prongs, which I think is really interesting. Someone else mentioned in another stream how, like, they intended for the D-pad to be used for 2D games, and the middle to be done with 3D games. You can't believe you played Doom 64? But only because... Yeah. These were my first experience with shooters, too. Like, this game, GoldenEye 007, and Banjo-Tooie were all my first experiences with shooters. And at the time, it didn't feel weird. I don't think I had any problem playing Jet Force Gemini when I was a kid. I thought it just played the way it did. But going back to it after, like, playing, like, regular shooters, like PC shooters or other console shooters, like, where your aim isn't inverted and you have 2 sticks, it's just so foreign going back to it. But yeah, we see that the ship's launched out, and King Jeff looks up, and oh, that's not King Jeff, that's just another tribal leader, because King Jeff is still alive, but jeez, it's just, this game is also, like, strangely gruesome. Like, you just see a little baby crying here. I'm pretty sure he either gets imprisoned or shot, which is, like, really edgy. Like, there's a lot of blood in this game. Oh no, the kid's just left behind. And I think it's, like, really fascinating. I think this game had a T rating. I don't think it was an M-rated game, but, like, I guess it's T-rated because it's just bugs getting exploded. But anyway, that's essentially how the planet ended up the way it did, or how the invasion was. And going back here, I wanted to show this specific area because this game hides stuff in a lot of little nooks and crannies. And I think it's really cool to see, like, what they hide in the corners. This is going to be one of the dumbest bonuses that, like, I think ever existed in the game. So, this is a room that you really wouldn't normally be visiting on a first playthrough, but it's always here. Yes, there's a lot of M-rated stuff for just really questionable stuff. We're going to see that once I get the second character, when I unlock Vila. But her skirt is so short that, like, it's impossible for her to not, like, have a panty shot in most situations. It's just, like, really strange. And, like, they talk about, like, porn magazines later on, like, they hid it away in a way that, like, it wasn't so in your face that they would have to, like, change it to an M rating. Anyway, one of the big things I wanted to talk about in regards to, like, exploration in this game. So yeah, everyone can swim above water in this game, pretty normally. You can see I'm swimming, there's nothing wrong here. But if you look at the bottom of the lake here, there's a totem pole there that unlocks, like, I think it's an extra character in the versus mode, and this game has a phenomenal versus mode. But you can't access it. So if you ever stumbled upon this, like, when you started the game, you think, wow, how do I get there? But what it is that it's sort of like teasing you that other characters can do other things. Juno can walk on lava infinitely without any damage, Vila can go underwater without any limits, and Lupus can fly. So they each have their own, like, mobility, and you'll see a lot of areas that just, you know that you have to go back as a different character. And I think it's really cool that it makes the worlds all feel different. It definitely fits in with the timeline. Yes! Because Conquer was the last Rare game on the N64, and they absolutely just let loose. I still haven't played Conquer, but I know how ridiculous it can get. But anyway, you're about to watch me be absolutely awful at aiming. And also talk to this guy twice. So, we just shoot once. Most of these enemies die in one shot, like most of these, those flying ships. But some of the other enemies take a couple of shots, unless you get headshots. Also, they have this interesting, like, introduction to the first world. But none of the other worlds get this introduction. Post-64 Rare lost their minds because they got bought out by Microsoft, and that was such a tragedy. Like, they lost their minds so hard that they couldn't even, like, make games the way they used to. I don't know if Grabbed by the Ghoulies or Cameo were, like, good games or not. I've heard mostly positive things about them, but, like, I don't think they ever stuck with people the way the N64 Rare Era did. It's, like, so disappointing. Yeah, I had a friend who had Cameo. He played it a little bit. I, like, watched him play a little bit. It had that Rare charm. It was 2 out of 5. Ugh. I played Nuts and Bolts. I played Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and that was, Nuts and Bolts was a game. They definitely could have just created a new mascot character. Nuts and Bolts I wouldn't have hated as much, honestly. It's a fun game, but, yeah. Xbox era Rare wasn't bad, but 360 onwards, yeah. I mean, at least they seem to be getting their stuff together with Sea of Thieves. A lot of people seem to really like it. My wife loves it. She absolutely adores Sea of Thieves. So I can't hate on them too much. And they've been doing a lot of homage to their older games in that. And I mean, they did remake Battletoads at some point. I don't know if that was Rare, or if they just gave them the rights to do so. But I think they're doing a little better. So here's the first real battle area. You don't have to aim with your pistols. You can just go ham. It has auto-aim for things that are on the same, like, height as you, but then anything that's above you, you have to actually manually aim. It's also neat that when you kill things... Let's see, let's get closer. Pop, pop. You can see their heads fall off, and actually, what happens is that if you collect enough heads in the game, you actually get, like, access to bonus cheats, like, you can turn all the enemies into the Rare mascot, Mr. Pants. You can make it so that when enemies die, they spurt out rainbow blood. And then I think the last cheat that you get is you turn the characters into babies. It's, like, really interesting how they put these cheats in, but they're more just, like, special goodies that you get from, playing the game. Yeah, the violence is just ridiculous here. Let me, pick this up. We start with just pistols, which are a little lackluster, but I mean, it is what it is. It gets 6 shots before you have to wait for it to reload to rapid fire again. And let me tell you, when you're bad at aiming manually and you accidentally blow all your shots, it feels awful. I'm doing a lot better here than I was when I first re-downloaded the game. We're just gonna collect these. It doesn't really matter what I collect because I have save files that I'm loading to get to the later parts of the game. Because what I'm essentially going to do is I'm going to go through one of each of the worlds as each character, or one of every character's worlds. Juno, I'm just going to go through Goldwood because it's the first world in the game. It introduces you to a lot of things. And then for Vila and Lupus, I'm just going to go through their last level. Every character gets 3 worlds. So I want to be able to like showcase everything as much as possible. And here we can see, this is... I believe there is an item that we get here. But this cave is actually really interesting in that it introduces a lot of different things to the player that you don't really see too frequently later in the game. And we have to do this all with a pistol. So we just walk through. Also, I think it's neat how the drones drop their guns. Because otherwise you'd run out of ammo really quickly. But it's like such a cool concept that you have to pay attention to both where their heads are falling to get the bonuses, and also to where their guns are so you don't run out of ammo. And that becomes more of a deal when you have like the machine gun and the plasma shotgun, which eat up a lot more ammo quickly. I think it's a really cool feature to like keep you aware. They also have these proximity mines which do a butt ton of damage, but you can obviously blow up proximity mines with guns because, you know, bullets are what the? Get back here. So we're gonna go through this cave. I think there is an item that I need to get here. So we just go through this. I think I know where to go. Also, there's something else I want to mention, but I'll wait till I see another tribal to bring it up. You know, I'm just gonna run through. I don't feel like aiming because, God, the aiming is so painful. Like, when you're trying to, like, do micro movements, like, aim a little bit up or a little bit down. It's just such a pain to try and aim properly. But here, we're just gonna go through here. This room has a lot more importance to it later on in the game. But right now, we can't access everything, so I don't want to spend my time running through the halls to just not get anything. So we can see here, this is another interesting area because, again, we can see that there's some water over here. If I try to go here, I think we can make it through. But if not, then it's another example of, yeah, we can't, Juno cannot go through this area. You can see that it's a gate showing us where to go. But because Juno can't dive underwater, we kind of just have to deal with where we can go right now. And, like, the game does a good job of showcasing you so many different areas, because then you realize the more you play the game that, oh, I can go there later with Vila because I can go underwater, or, oh, that's a big gap, I can just fly over it with Lupus. Or later on, you'll see, like, lava, and that'll take you to, wait, this is the right area? Or when you see, like, lava, and you're like, oh, Juno can go through there. So anyways, that's the area completion screen. Every time you go through a new area, you actually refill all your lives, which is pretty nice because some areas are really long, and if you die more than 3 times, you have to restart the area from the beginning, which, when it's on one of the longer areas, which, when I was replaying this game earlier, like yesterday, oh man, I literally made it through the last fight in an area with like 1 piece of HP left, which, you'll see the HP meter again when I get hit. But it's that little, like, half circle in the bottom left corner. The game also has a pretty nice sense of progression in that way that watching that circle get bigger and bigger as you go through the worlds does feel really cool. And I think Rareware did a good job with that in other games too. Like in Banjo-Kazooie, seeing the honeycomb health meter get bigger and bigger as you progress, like, slowly but surely, like, every couple of worlds was really cool. Alright, thank you for the key. So here we'll see that NPCs can also give us items, like this red key. And we also see this door here. I love how this game just shows you so many things that you can't access, but it'll be things that you'll realize as you get further into the game, like, oh, now I can go back there. Because it just, I don't know, it's one of those feelings, it's like a lot of exploration. It doesn't feel that much like backtracking to me, honestly, because I don't like backtracking, but this is more like you have one linear path, and then, like, the whole world opens up instead of just backtracking, because you're not going through areas you went through, you're going mostly through new areas. Anyways, we gotta fight this big bug dude, he's kind of shooting explosives at us, but we're undercover, but also we have, like, the world's slowest gun. Kind of have to strafe left and right. And once we do this, he's just suffering. Like, we pop his head off, and he's just stuck there for, like, a couple of seconds struggling. But anyway, our first real weapon chest here. Yes, exactly. It's really just a matter of how you handle backtracking in the game. Because, like, a game like this where the backtracking doesn't feel tedious because you you backtrack for like a short moment, and then you have like an entire full like 30-minute level ahead of you, because you only went through like the easy parts as a backtrack, but then what was closed off to you was pretty much just an entire other level. Like, some characters' extra areas aren't that big, but some are just feel like you just went to a second world. And also we'll see, they don't do this gimmick too often. You can see that there's these legs sticking out. You just have to shoot it fast enough. Hell yeah, Mega Polygon Pew Pews. Look at all, you can count the number of the polygons here. What's up, Reina? Also, when you strafe near a wall, show me that steaky leg. I love games where like motion is like that too. Like, we can just kind of glide along the wall there. It looks so ridiculous, and I'm not sure exactly what in development would cause it to move like that. Yeah, I didn't actually struggle with that door, right? Surprising. Alright, so now that we have the machine gun, we can kind of aim freely. Like this. Also, this is what I was going to mention earlier. So we collect these tribals, giving him the flat super... He's got like Heelys on. These are killable by your own hand. And if you kill them, then they're dead. You can't get all the tribals. The biggest criticism that this game has gotten, at least from what I've seen, is that in order to beat the game, in order to access the final boss, you must collect every single tribal in the entire game. That means if you accidentally kill one, you gotta restart the level. And if you don't know where to find them, you gotta keep on searching forever. I never beat the game either. I got every single ship part except the stabilizer, which is what you get rewarded with for collecting all the tribals. And that's the reason why I actually did not want to like stream a full playthrough, because I would never be able to beat this game. I've never beaten the game normally, but I just love playing through up to where you need to get the stabilizer, because the game itself is just really fun to run around, shoot stuff up, do platforming, and like, I think the world and the music are just really top-notch. Rareware had really strong composers in their, like, on their bench. Like, honestly, like, Grant Kirkhope is great. Everyone talks about him with, like, DK and Banjo-Kazooie, but the guys who did the music for this game, like, I don't even like this track that much compared to a lot of the other tracks in the game, but there's so many good, like, atmospheric sounding tracks that, like, they sound very action-y, like, grandiose, but still, like, giving you that sense of, like, the dire nature of Jet Force Gemini. Like, I think once, you'll hear that more in the other worlds that I visit, but once I get to a certain point, I'm gonna show all the worlds that I didn't play through fully, just so we can see, like, all the other musical tracks, because this game has a top-notch soundtrack. I would even say that I would put the soundtrack on par with Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, and those are some of my favorite game soundtracks. Depending on the mood, I might say that I like this more than Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. Like, Grant Kirkhope's a fantastic composer, but man, this game just sets up environments so well. Like, in a different mood than Banjo-Kazooie does. Because Banjo-Kazooie also is very, like, fitting, but, what it is that it's very cheery and happy. You never really feel bad playing Banjo-Kazooie. Like, none of the tracks ever make you feel, like, in a dire sense of, like, danger. But here you feel, it always feels, like, threatening, in a way. Like, especially, like, every character's third stage just feels like, oh man, I could die here. And then that would be it. Banjo-Kazooie, like, you have some serious sounding pieces that, like, make you feel like there's things at stake, but it's still, like, really goofy sounding. Like, I think Hellfire Peaks from Banjo-Tooie has, like, this really, like, serious sound to it, but then, like, the French horn starts going, like, it starts fucking off, going ham, and then you're like, oh, right, this is Grant Kirkhope. And, like, it sounds awesome, but also, it's, like, it's still fun sounding. The soundtrack here, for the most part, is very serious. And I think it's it hits the vibe really well. What doesn't hit the vibe really well is when you don't get machine gun ammo, and you know that you're about to go into a swarm of a lot of enemies. Also, this is another one of the sections I was talking about. We can see here, straight up, Juno clearly cannot cross this gap, and I die if I try to jump in that, so I'm not gonna lose to gravity right now. So, it teases you in so many ways, but not, like, But, like, you know it's not even, like, a possibility. You can't jump that, and if you tried to, like, it would be ridiculous. You would look silly. There's no way you're gonna make it up there. Also, this stupid sniper. I can't aim. Oh, there we go. So now what we gotta do... We open that door up. Oh, why did I moonwalk? I am almost about to die, so you're probably gonna see me eat shit right now, but that's okay. Dying isn't too bad in this game. None of the enemies respawn, thankfully. So, the death sound is like also really dramatic. He did absolute wonders with this. Yes! Terrible mid-ear compressed cut up nonsense. Yes, yes. Dude, when you play Banjo-Tooie, like, I joked about it, like, but the French horn parts in Hellfire Peaks, it's one of my favorite tracks, but it really sounds like the recording sounds so good. And, like, just the composition itself is just aces, like... I love a good brass section. Like, a good brass rip sounds so awesome. And, like, the main melody just really... Like, I don't know how Grant Kirkhope did it, honestly. God, I could gush forever about N64 era Rare, and I've only maybe played 4 or 5 of their games from that era. I played Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Jet Force Gemini, and a little bit of GoldenEye. Those were... Oh, and a little bit of Diddy Kong Racing. But time and time again, I guess I can't speak too much about GoldenEye. I don't remember the music that much, but also it was just based off of a movie. So that's sort of the metric I have there. But, like, the music that they do for their original games is always so solid. Alright, let's get this. Let's get this. Actually, it doesn't matter, because we're going to go to the next world, and then I just want to showcase the music from the next world, and then we're going to just jump over to the next character. So, when you get to the end of the world... Oh, wait, I have this to do still. We have invincibility, so I have to kill these, as many of these as possible, otherwise I will get ripped in half. So, these guys shoot you and do a lot of damage, but since I have invincibility for now, I don't have to worry too hard. It's just, can Elliot aim with this low fire rate gun? Oh, I have a machine gun. Can I aim with the machine gun either? Survey says absolutely not. What the hell is wrong with me? Oh my god. This thing's gonna fly at me. Oh god. Aiming on an N64 controller is very hard. I swear. It's not me. I'm not bad, I swear. But yeah, this is pretty much the entirety of the world. And then there really isn't anything else. So we're gonna go through the next door. And we'll see some transitions. So that is area cleared. It also tells you how bad you do. Like, it also tells you your aim. Like, what you killed most things with. The most lethal weapon. And... Or the most lethal, the one that you use the most. And the one that had the most accuracy. Which is really funny when you use an explosive gun, like a rocket launcher or a homing missile. And then you see, like, accuracy 120%. I think having over 100% accuracy is the funniest thing. Because it makes sense, because you hit multiple things at once with a single shot. So there will be times where you go over 100% with your accuracy. But seeing accuracy 120% is just so silly. So anyway, we go leave Goldwood and we access the SS Anubis, which is a prison ship, which is where Juno saves Vila, who got beaten up. And I need to see this cutscene again, because I need to complain about continuity again. So we see he lands himself in the underside of the SS Anubis, which is strange. Why is that there? Why is that just open? Why did they just let him park his ship? Like, they just let the enemy go onto their ship. Like, this is the prison ship. We're essentially doing a prison break here, and they just have an open parking garage in the back. So anyway, we walked into the SS Anubis, and I just want to showcase a couple things in these first two rooms. The first room always has this, like, ambiance to it. Like, the music isn't actually playing, or, like, the stage music isn't playing. And then a couple of things we need to collect here. So you'll see those, like, big trapezoid things are where we get more ammo. And you'll see that we get a weapon here as well. Probably one of my favorite, like, designs. I love the weapon design in this game. They look so strange for guns, but they really hit the whole, like, sci-fi, not real gun, doesn't make sense, don't care what you think about it. Like, I don't understand how the plasma shotgun works in its design. You look in the top left corner there, is that a gun? What am I holding? This is a shotgun? But it's such a cool charged weapon, but it also feels like ass to aim with. Ow. Oh, sorry. There's also this little funny tidbit. Whenever you accidentally hit someone with a gun, like a NPC, they get extra dialogue. Hey, what are you doing? Call yourself a friend? Since when do friends use each other for target practice? But anyway, this guy is back here again, and he sort of shows us what happened to Vila and Lupus after they leave the ship, their own ship. So you can see there's this tribal about to get bullied. They're making her scrub the floor. Very strange, but you know, it's whatever. Vila's here. She's sneaking around the SS Anubis because she was trying to infiltrate and free some tribals. But then, she realizes that she can't just let these guys bully this poor little tribal. She's crying! Look at that. She's making the baby crying sounds even though I'm pretty sure that's an adult tribal. And then she goes ham with a machine gun! Look at that. Again, another case of a character having the machine gun, except, you know, she doesn't start with a machine gun when you play as her. But that could be more explained, because she's chasing these guys down. And I think this scene sucks ass. She's chasing them down. If she's firing at them, she misses all her shots because where's auto aim? And then, uh-oh! Boom! She just gets slapped! And this looks like the start of a really bad film. I don't like where that goes. But then they just throw her in prison. It could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. So then essentially what the purpose of this stage is for you to free Vila. But there's a lot of extra stuff that I don't want to go through. There's a lot of... I don't want to really play through everyone's stages because, again, I want to talk more about the other parts of this game. And then, yeah, I just wanted to go through this first room. You can hear the music here. It's a lot more, like, serious sounding than Goldwood was. Goldwood just had, like, that repeated drum sound. But here we have, like the brass and, like, the low strings. Oh. It sounds like a space film. And they did say that they had a lot of inspiration from, like, that kind of media. But, like, this track is so good. It takes you out of, like, being in the whole forest area of Goldwood and then just right into the battleship. Boom. Boom. It's just so, like, deep. But yeah, that was Juno's part. The next part, we're gonna skip a little bit because I talked enough about how the game starts off. I want to go to some later parts because there's a lot of cool things that take a little bit of gameplay to access. So we're gonna go back to the main menu. And we are going to jump into Vila's mode, or Vila's stages. Also, a fun thing to note, this title screen gets bigger and bigger as you progress through the game. When you start the game, it's actually only Juno running, but now that I have all the characters, you actually see Juno, Vila, and Lupus, since the farthest save file I have has all three of them. So once you unlock Vila, you actually, when you load the game, can pick between the two characters, and obviously when you get Lupus, you get the third treadmill. So where we're jumping to, we're gonna jump a few levels and a few items. You're gonna see a couple of new weapons, and I actually want to talk about the weapons as well, because I also want to take a look at the weapon roster that we have. So this is the military-based Ichor. This is the third of Vila's stages. It's the last of her stages too. Every character's third stage has a big boss fight, so we're gonna get to see at least 2 of those today. And I just want to take a moment to appreciate the weaponry in this game. I have a lot more of the weapons as Vila because obviously I've played through more of it. But it's so cool to see, like, how they, like, designed the guns and, like, the little ins and outs of it. Like, you could see how it, like, compresses itself and how it reloads. Let's see. The Tri-Rocket Launcher. This is my favorite weapon in the game. This thing does so much damage. It kills, like, everything in, like, 2 hits. And, like, it doesn't look like it has rockets in it, but then you see the animation, and then it looks so cool. You never need to see this. But, like, you could see, like, how the rockets shoot out. It just looks so cool. The grenades are pretty simple. Even the pistol, look at that. The way it reloads. The homing missiles, another big rocket. You can see the scope on the top, and then just see how, like, oh, look at that. And the machine gun with the stock in the front. Just seeing how they... Exactly, it's so good. So, those are some of the weapons in the game. That's a lot of the main weapons. There's a couple of, like, meme weapons, like the sniper rifle and the shuriken, and the flamethrower, but you never really use those. Also, fun fact, I guess not fun fact really, but I remember when I played this game when I was in like 1st grade, 2nd grade. Booba, right? Look at that. I was in 1st grade or 2nd grade. One of my classmates like cosplayed this character when she was like 6 years old, and I was like, huh, cool. I'm like the only other person in the room that knows what you're cosplaying. And I thought that was really cool. She like brought a fake grenade to school and everything. She had like the blue wig. I think actually she dyed her hair. But that was just really like cool that like I found someone in 1st grade who had also played this game. Unfortunately, she moved away, so I no longer know what she's up to. But yeah, this is a tri-rocket launcher. You can see, the further you get into the game, there's a lot harder enemies to deal with. Like, this big guy is just in the first room, and those other drones had shields on them, which, unless you have explosives, are a lot harder to deal with. But you can see, I got 20 bullets on this tri-rocket launcher, so I'm kind of schmoovin'. So we got pistol capacity increase, you know, the works. So this is the military-based Icor, and you can see, oh, it's so drastic. The trumpets, the blaring trumpets, like you're marching, like you're taking the fight to them and you're marching on their territory. Oh god, oh god. The game's chugging so hard, the filters are turning back to its original N64 resolution. Oh my god. But yeah, you can see these shield grunts. He actually took the full shield shot, which has me a little bit upset. That's how annoying these shield grunts are. You kind of just have to hope you hit them just right. And I'm also hurting myself heavily with this. I am almost dead. As you may or may not have noticed, your health bar has sort of 5 tiers. Every time it depletes, it goes down a rung. And then when there's no more green parts of it, that's when you're on your last health bar, and that's when you actually die. Ugh. Which is probably going to be really soon for me. We took out all the shield guys. We need to safely take out the snipers now. Oh god. Oh god, I'm gonna die. You're going down with me! How did I not take damage? How am I not taking damage here? I am swerving! Ah! Alright, I'll take a life to just clear through the first area of that. This area is very, like, tricky. So now what we're gonna do, because I don't feel like aiming, we're going to pop the homing missiles. Once we're locked on, boom! In a game where aiming is very difficult, homing missiles are a godsend. Just like that. And you can see the life force door open, so that means all the enemies have been taken care of. So we can see there's no one left here. And this is another case of, like, it's interesting how open these worlds are to me personally. Like, here you can see that the door over there in the corner is the one that we opened, but there's also these corridors on the top that you actually don't need to go through, but you do get rewarded pretty nicely if you do. So we're gonna walk through there because, you know, just to show it off, what happens, like, things that you can and can't miss. Like here, this is not out of the way. Yes, exactly! They're big bugs, so it's not real blood, it's just guts. It's just bug guts. So we get the flares here, which I think it's strange that this is where they put the flares, and it does literally what you think it does. You can attach them to the walls and it lights up the room. This is the saddest, like... like, it's so pointless. There's certain rooms where it comes in handy, but for the most part, it's just light up. But then this bad boy does so much damage, has 10 ammo, and you can't move forward with it. You can strafe with it, but because it's using... your zoom in and zoom out is on the same buttons as walking forward with other guns, you can't move forward or backwards with the sniper rifle. Also, how are you doing, Professor Bloom? It's good to see you there. It's good to see you here. Alright, so we walk through here, and we get another room. We're actually going to get taken through to, if I recall correctly, this room. So there's some enemies on the bottom floor, and this is actually where that life force door leads. So it's also really cool to see how, like, all the rooms are interconnected here. So if we walk through here, I don't think there's anything else. Ah, you know, I feel that. Sometimes meetings take up a bit. Sometimes if I'm in a meeting, like, I'll at least lurk. Or I'll usually lurk because, you know, I have to focus on the meeting. But, like, I always like having them in the background. Like, I always set, like, the volume half to, like, whoever I'm listening to on the stream, and then, like, the other volume set to, the meeting. Because, man, there are some meetings that I just cannot sit through. You know? Like, you ever just think, like, you go through a meeting and you're like, you could have just explained everything there in an email, and I would have gotten it a lot faster. And I understand that there's, like, regulations, you know? Like, they have to have a certain amount of meetings, otherwise, you know, I think the state just demands it. But still, sometimes they're just so tiring. But anyway, if we went out the other direction, that would have looped back to the beginning. Honestly! Now we just go through this room here, and we're gonna just, you know, I have 4 of these left. And I have 4 of these, so, you know, just boom, boom, boom. I love the Tri-Rocket Launcher. I love blowing myself up with the Tri-Rocket Launcher. But we cleared out that Life Force door. And again, another example of things that they just hide, or not hide, but like, could easily be missed. I just love that you can go through these glass panels, and this also just like reminds me of Banjo-Kazooie, honestly. Like, obviously Banjo-Kazooie didn't invent breaking glass, but like, in a lot of games, that glass would have just been, you know, for show. But here you can actually like go into it, you can break through, and there's actually stuff hidden. Like the cluster bombs, for example. Boom! Every time I think about cluster bombs, I think about that one PSP ad. I don't know if anyone else remembers it. It's a really stupid memory. But, like, it's a guy playing, like, some shooting game, and you don't actually ever see what game he's playing. But, like, someone starts looking over his shoulder, and it's like, oh, get him, oh, you got him, oh, shoot him, ooh, cluster bomb, cluster bomb! Cluster bomb. Boom. And he, like, punches him on the shoulder. And I'm like, yeah, honestly, in my experience, like, in, like, school, bringing my, like, handhelds to school to play, like, during downtime, when I had those downtimes as a high schooler, I've definitely had people just, like, comment, like, on my shoulder, and, like, stupid stuff like that. So I can't say it's, like, unrealistic, but man, does it just make me think of those times in, like, the worst way? And I guess some people are just trying to be friendly, but man, does it hurt my soul. Alright, getting that full Tri-Rocket Launcher, those are some of, like, the best words you could ever see. Nothing better than getting 20 free rockets and just seeing all the... Look at the blood splatter, it's just ridiculous. They really were just able to get away with it because it was bugs. I think my favorite thing is the rainbow blood cheat that makes it so that the splatter is even more colorful. Because green blood is funny, and like the black blood that the machines also spit out. But I love just the rainbow effects all over. I think I might be close to unlocking it on the last save file that I have with Lupus. So we'll get to go through that. And we'll get to see some of the big bosses in the game. Also, when I was replaying this, like, this is why we don't use explosives without discretion, without discrimination. I just killed 2 tribals. That's like... thinking about the tribals and just how easy they are to accidentally kill off is just so obnoxious. And when I was a kid, this part of the melody always stood out to me. That I think that's a flute? I don't think it's a flute. But like, that like 8th note run. Or no, that's a triplet run. It just sounds so like dire. Like dramatic. This part, yeah. Oh. It just... Oh. This one, like, whenever I think of Jet Force Gemini and music, this is the track that probably sticks out in my mind the most, if I had to say. This one, and then I think Lupus' second stage, Rith Essa, which I'll take a visit to as well, also has some pretty good melody. It feels like those stages, like, if there were to be like a grand theme in a movie, like, sometimes I think about that, like, if this game were a movie, like, what would like the overture be? Because it wouldn't be the main theme. The main theme would be like what the movie starts with, but not like sort of when you're like doing an overview of the world, like when they're doing that sort of exposition drop. I feel like Rith Essa's theme has that sort of grandiose feeling that feels less dire and more like you're on a big mountain, which is what Rith Essa is. It's a big mountain. It's a big mine, actually. So I think we're about halfway through this level. And oh, this room is actually just a nightmare. There's a couple of enemies in this room, but also, this room is just ridiculous. Like, they really channeled their inner, like, platformer Banjo-Kazooie inspiration here. Alright, buddy. I don't know what this guy is doing. And here's a plasma shotgun in action, so I didn't use it yet. For big enemies, it really takes a while to kill. It took 4 of those blasts, but for Juno, especially, it's like the strongest weapon you have for quite a bit, and Lupus kind of as well. It's like, being able to aim with that single shot, having to charge it feels bad, but it does hit like a truck if it hits. But that means that you have to be able to aim with something that isn't an explosive. And asking me to aim with something that isn't an explosive... Oh! I would agree. On certain days, I would agree. It, like... It was very ambitious. My biggest gripe, and I already talked about this, but the fact that you have to collect every tribal is what killed the game for me. But I always love playing the game, collecting every other ship part. It's just such a fun experience. Also, screw this room. We're just gonna walk through. I figured out the key to getting through this, you know? You gotta time it right. Then you gotta jump right before you get pushed off, because it gives you a little bit of extra room. Boom, and then bop. Boom, and then fast, slow, and then fast. I also have to not run into it too early. I hate this this platforming part. I don't think it took me too many tries, so as long as I like approach this with some brains, we should be fine. Not many 50. Honestly, this room and the next room also is on a pretty interesting, like, the mechanics that they put here. And it's such a weird thing because it's like... Actually, no. I'm gonna say that a lot of rooms in Jet Force Gemini, either mechanically or the way they connected to one another, were really interesting. And I think they took a lot of that inspiration when they started doing worlds in Banjo-Tooie as well. Like, the interconnection and, like, the really obscure entrances. I think about areas like Clanker's Cavern in Banjo-Kazooie, like, how you could enter Clanker through his gills. Oh, man, am I just gonna do a retrospective on all Rare games? I might not, because everyone's played, like, Banjo-Kazooie. Like, everyone's played Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, but, like, still, I just have so many fond memories of those games. Those are really the first games where, like, I played through them. I actually have never played Blast Corps. That might be interesting just to do, like, blind, because when I was looking this up, I found out that the team that made this game was the team that did Blast Corps specifically. I don't even know what kind of game Blast Corps is, but I should give it a look. I always assumed that it was some kind of tank game. This room is also really interesting with the switches. So you see, there's like a bunch of colored switches, and we kind of just have to make sure we don't fall. Alright, so yellow. It's like a destroy. Oh, okay, okay. I like Rampage. Rampage is another like old school game that like I feel everyone remembers, but no one talks about, and I guess that might be by virtue of the fact that there really isn't much to talk about in Rampage. Rampage is literally like what it says on the box. Not that that's a bad thing. Sometimes you just need to play an arcade game where you just go apeshit on a city, or multiple cities. I remember I like borrowed Rampage from a friend. That was like a fun experience, like to play with my brother and just go through. It was like an arcade, like an example of those arcade-style games, but without having to worry about credits. The title is the plot, exactly. I still think about, oh, they did make a movie about it, like, recently, like, I think 2 or 3 years ago. They made the Rampage movie. And I think, like, John Cena or, like, The Rock was in it. That was weird. What was up with that? Anyway, this is the first time we see one of these as well, which is the, a station that heals you, which is really nice. Because, healing... Oh god, I accidentally restored my health twice, so I couldn't restore my ammo. Why isn't there a confirm button? Oh well. The health was the more important part there. Because I think I had 0 rings of HP. Oh wait, no, I got full HP because I picked up the Gemini. So I literally just wasted money. You know, that's okay. Yeah. So it's like thinking about like Rampage, was it like an exact port? I actually don't know. I just know that, it played very similarly to it, but when I think about, like, arcade ports like that, I think about, like, Turtles in Time, because I know, like, Turtles in Time arcade different from, what is it, Turtles in Time on the SNES. Now that's a beat-em-up that I love, and if it was long enough, I'd do a retrospective, but I might just do Like, it's not even, like, long enough to do a full stream on, now that I think about it. It just is a very solid game. Oh, Turtles in Time is so good. Where do I go? Oh, I know what to do. You put that there. Alright. You have to put this green thing over here. I am so good at these Switch puzzles, by the way. And it's so weird because you have to jump on them, and then you can walk off them. But, like, the walking off them part is, like, awkward because, like, you know you want to, like, time it so that you just step on for a little bit, but not too long. Alright, there we go. And that's a quote-unquote puzzle. I'm not going to focus on saving the tribals because, again, I'm not going to beat the game. So that's the only benefit you get is for saving the tribals is just that item. Also, these brown ants, specifically their job is to make your life miserable and shoot any tribals that they run into. The other ants don't do that, it's just the brown ones. So, like, they kind of, like, time you in certain rooms as well, which is rude as hell. Alright. Also, sometimes when you, like, take them out by the legs instead of by the, like, headshotting them, they just, like, sit on the ground for a little bit, and you can hear them, like, grunt in pain. It's, like, it sounds mean, but it's also, like, really funny. Like, you kind of just leave them, you'll, like, walk past them. Whoa! Oh, that scared me! I didn't know why that tribal looked so big. I let 3 tribals die so far. When did that happen? Alright. And then this is sort of, like, every area in Jet Force Gemini, for the, like, every third stage has, like, this very big, dramatic, like, area where you have to, like, fight through a ton of enemies. It's usually, like, a long corridor of rooms. I hate this corridor. It ends very ridiculous, like, very, like, tediously. There's, like, a long bridge, and I wish I could aim my homing missile. For some reason, sometimes the game doesn't want to show where my crosshair is for the homing missiles and rocket launchers, so I kind of just have to guess where it's at. And again, some more shield drones. You kind of have to circle them, and then once you circle them, you can just knock out their gun, and that's easy. It's just, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to circle them, and sometimes you accidentally walk into them. And that's not great, because, you know, you're trying to not touch them, because, you know, one of those games with contact damage. It feels like even when you shoot them from behind, they take a lot more hits to kill, too. So all in all, awful enemies, 0 out of 10. I despise shields. His arms were open, and he took that blast to his chest like a champ. Are you serious? Alright, I'm not gonna use my homing missiles on that, or my rocket launcher on that. Let's just do this. They're lined up pretty nicely where I can just machine gun them. And then here we just get some more tokens, which we should probably be collecting for those refill stations. Alright. And then, I think this is about the halfway point of the room. I think the last time I did this, I died near the bridge. Because there's a dude with an entire S minigun here. And I didn't have any rockets, but this time I'm ready. Right? Can I aim? I would like to aim, but there is no crosshair. I have no crosshair and I must shoot. Oh! Oh god. Here we're just gonna use tri-rocket launchers. Here we're just gonna blow up our feet. Imagine if the game had rocket jumping. Now that would be a thing. You just get sent flying into the air. There we go. Oh, I'm getting shot by the minigun. Alright, let's see. I'm just gonna try rocket launcher this. You know what? I've had enough. Enough aiming. We're just looking in a general direction. I don't know if that's gonna hit. Oh god. That's why we need the homing missiles. That's why we need the homing missiles. Aiming is so hard. Especially when you don't have a crosshair. Can I get this? Ow, 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 ow. Look how much damage I just took. The speedruns must be nuts. I couldn't imagine speedrunning this game. Because, like, again, you have to collect every tribal. I think actually what it is that when people speedrun this game, they just speedrun up to Miser's Palace. So, like, they just do all the levels, essentially. Where did you come from? You ever just, like, look up and then there's just a dude with a shield in front of you trying to bust your skull in? Ah, oh, God! I didn't even run out of ammo that time. I just shot myself. But that's probably the scariest thing about this stage in particular, is that it's all one long stage. So you can see I have 0 continues left. If I die one more time, I have to go back to the start of the world. The only thing that's good about this is that the enemies don't respawn. If they respawned, I'd probably just be big dead. But we will take advantage of the fact that there's no enemy spawning, and just run back to where we were. It's like interesting that they make you restart from the beginning, where they could easily just do like what a lot of like beat-em-ups do, and just have you respawn. But I don't get like why they just don't make your life bar just overall bigger. I guess so that you don't recover a heck ton of health. Alright, there we go. We got the lock on. We got the lock on, so now we don't even have to aim. And we see the black blood splatter. That's what we like to see. And then we have probably a bunch of these guys. And we are just going to homing missile them, because that blast damage is going to give me hella accuracy. There we go. And then we kind of just aim upwards and hope that the invisible cursor graces me with its presence. There we go, it reappeared. I don't know why my computer's having a hard time rendering the reticle, but you know what? I still got the shots. So we go through here, and this is actually where the boss is. And you can tell it's a boss room because you can see all these healing items. So we're going to take these 5-unit Geminis, we're going to take these reloads, and we're going to blow up a giant mosquito. Actually, I don't know what kind of bug it's supposed to be. But as long as you have maxed out homing missiles and try rocket launchers, pretty much every boss is just kind of going to get crumbled to you. So you can see Viola's coming out, and then you can see that there's this giant lava ring that once you revisit as Juno, you can walk through and get some, you can get one of the ship parts, which again is that like showing you what you can and can't do, showing areas that will have secrets that you can get with certain characters. So you can see Viola gets on the platform, and it's like, oh, what's happening? You can see that those drones are messing with something there. And honestly, it's a pretty mundane thing that they do. You'd think that they'd like put a spike wall or something, you know, like or like electric fields. Like, I get it's precarious if there's a lava floor like right below you, but like, there's nothing inherently dangerous to her if she just stays on the platform. And then they just summon some giant bug queen, which I guess that's scary, but like, I'm Viola, I'm gonna shoot some rockets. There's not really anything to worry about here. There's like a lot of build-up too. Like, I guess they're trying to like build up tension, like those like drum rolls and like the brass hits. Oh, and the intro screen sound. I don't know what instrument that is that they used to make that sound. I think it's like violin. I think it's some kind of string. But yeah, we see this giant. Look at that big dumpy. We have big dumpy. Those 2 arms. She's looking kind of thick. They salute to her. I always had the feeling like she would like kill them as she walks by, but it never happens. But I always feel like she would just like blap them with a laser, just because, you know, bosses would do that. But you can see she's got those 4 main like electric things on her. So the boss fights basically just hit those things, hit the 2 pods on her top left and top right, and then just go ham on her. It's a pretty straightforward boss fight. Like, when I was replaying all the boss fights, they always felt like when I was a kid, I guess that makes sense, that they were like so much harder than they were, but like these boss fights were like really not that hard. And thankfully you also have infinite lives once you get to this point, so if you die you just get sent back to the boss room. That makes sense. I've never played an EDF game before. I've heard they're really good though. Alright. So essentially what this boss does is she drops larvae on you. And then the larvae kind of just explode, and as long as you don't get hit by the explosion, you're fine. But also, I'm kind of just ignoring it. I can't aim. Oh god. I think the thing is, I've noticed this during one of the other boss fights, I think you have to hit them when they're glowing. If I could aim. We're just going to use homing missiles for this. Because I cannot aim. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Don't hit me. And then starts glowing again. And then, can I get? Okay. We have the lock on now at the very least. So once we get the lock on, we're going to be able to just boom. And we just got to take it a little bit at a time. And now... Oh god! I think we have to wait for things to glow. I don't think we can just keep on... Oh yeah, she's taking damage. So we just gotta do this a couple times. Oh god. Ah! And then we have 2 more lives left. Or 2 more shots left. And essentially what we have to do... I have to essentially get those 4 things, those 4 metal parts. And I have nothing except 2 pieces of health left and no explosives. So this is going to be hard. This is why we have to conserve our homing missiles until this part, or it would be nice to. Oh god! Can I make it? Can I make it? Oh god. This is so scary. There's like not even high stakes because I'm not going to like have to continue. Oh god, 1 HP. I just can't aim. You know what? Screw it. I got machine guns. Ah! Alright, alright. We'll try that again. But yeah, it's a tricky boss fight, but it's not like a hard boss fight. I think the hardest part is the fact that I can't aim properly because my reticle's not appearing whenever I hold R2, or hold down the R key. Or the R button, I should say. Like, you can see, it's not capturing for some reason. But, if I just get the right shots. Just gotta aim. And we gotta shoot him when it's glowing. That's really all there is to it. I just need to be able to make the shot. There we go. You can see it glow red. There we go, 2 shots that time. A much better display. A much better display. And then 1, 2. I'm missing! Okay, I got 1 shot though. It's a little harder to do at the angle. There we go. Much easier to clear, and then we kind of just do this. Boom! 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 Ow. I'm losing a lot of HP though. Boom! And we kind of just have to take out her back. Oh god. The aiming is a little awkward. I forgot the right stick is to move in this fight. The C buttons were what make you move here. And then we pop her open, and this is where homing missiles come in handy. So we aim. Oh god. How am I forgetting how to aim here? Alright. I think we got a lock on. So we're gonna watch that baby sail. Alright, now we gotta get another lock on target. Oh god. My C-stick is so sensitive that it's reading up as I'm like pressing left and right and then accidentally hovering over the up key. Is it auto-targeting? Oh, it's auto-targeting. Bless, God bless. I don't actually have to lock onto things. They're gonna get there someday. It's so funny to watch these homing missiles move around like that. They're trying so hard. They're gonna get a hit. They're gonna get a hit. I believe in them. We still have half our HP left. Oh god, if that hit me. I'm trying to get the aim here, but I can't secure a lock on. Heard it. There we go. Oh god. This game is making very... There we go. Get the hell out of here! There we go. Once we got the lock-ons. It's like playing with like a handicap in the worst way possible. Because that boss has such tiny hitboxes, but we made it out. And we'll see that... I don't even know what it's doing. It's kind of just dying. It's kind of imploding on itself. Classic N64 boss. Classic retro boss. It just explodes when it dies. Like, after it's already been exploded, it has to do one last explosion. So now... you can see that Viola's getting dropped off because I guess all the drones are like, "Aw, man, we can't mess with this girl. She just killed our bug lady." You'll see that the door's closed. She goes through the door. Or actually, I think I get to move through the door. I think we go from one cutscene to another. I forgot like how animated this game was, like how many cutscenes there were. I like ignored most of the story, and like it like only came to me when I replayed through this game that there's like a lot of cutscenes in this game. So yeah, we get out of the door, we get out of the lava room, Vila walks out tired as all hell because, you know, if I were to fight a giant bug lady queen with a fat dumpy, I also would be really tired. She kneels, she's like almost mind broken. And then, it's Lupus! How did he end up here? He was here the whole time and he couldn't help us? Oh, that N64 looking face. Hey, Lupus. I like how Vila talks, but Juno doesn't really talk. Mizar knows who's gunning for him. So things got pretty heated back there. So yeah, this is essentially where Lupus's first stage ends up being, the spawn ship. But we're not going to visit the spawn ship, we're going to go straight to his last stage, which... His last stage very much is a trip. If Icor's musical track is what I remember the most out of all the stage tracks in Jet Force Gemini, Lupus's third stage is what I remember the most out of any stage in this game. For bad reason. It's not that it's poorly designed, like, gameplay-wise or anything, but man, I don't know if anyone would be ready to see what exactly the stage looks like, because it doesn't look like what a stage in a third-person shooter should look like. So we can see that the ship is taking off, and Vila, all Vila has to do is just go onto the ship and she's done with her stage. God, I am almost dead. But we made it. So you can see her ship's waiting there. I actually like the design of her ship a lot. I like how it has the two jet boosters on the side. It looks more triangular. Juno's... The 130.23% accuracy. That is some extra credit. I don't know, I feel like the way the thrusters and just the general shape of the ship look better than Juno's ship. Juno's ship looks like a bean. It looks like one fat bean. Anyway, we get taken out of Vila's stage, and now we have access to Lupus. So I'm just going to teleport here so we can see what the spawn ship looks like just for a little bit. And just to show something that I think is also really neat. Because Juno starts with the pistol, and you have to fight through a couple of rooms to get the machine gun. Vila also gets her gun pretty quickly. But when you play as Lupus, you're on the spawn ship, and right out the gate, the game is like, alright, you've played as two other characters. We're not gonna make you work for this. This is just for free. You get the plasma shotgun, the machine gun, and they always place an easy to get health Gemini capacity increaser there. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna load the game one more time. Prepare your ears for the loud menus title screen. It's so much louder. I love this hover boots too. When I played multiplayer mode with my friends, we would always race to get Lupus first. Oh, and another cool thing. It says play cooperative game 2. During Juno's third stage, you actually get access to a sort of helper buddy named Floyd, who, if player 2 presses start on the second player controller, will actually be able to, like, be a little helper. You think, like, Super Mario Galaxy, how it had the star bits that player 2 could shoot? It's kind of like that, but even more powerful, because star bits couldn't kill anything. But Floyd flies behind you, you can see he's right there. And player 2 could shoot as him, which I thought was a really cool feature. Anyways, we're on this... I don't remember what this world is called. I don't know how to pronounce it. I need to look at the spelling. But if we look at the map... Yeah, I always played as Floyd because my brother was one who was playing Escabone. That is the world. It's also really cool. You can see that we all have these levels, and then if you switch characters, you have access. Vila's map is over here. She can't go up. But then you see Juno's map is also connected to Mizar's Palace. So what happens, what you realize if you've gone through those parts and you get to this part here, like you finish Vila and Juno's parts, and like you get onto the spawn ship, you realize it's connected. And I thought that's so cool that the map ends up all connecting at once you finish all those parts. And then once you beat Mizar's Palace, you can go to everywhere. Every character can visit every world. Like how I talked about lava, how Juno doesn't get hurt by lava. Juno just walks through all of this map. And pretty much any secret here is for him to get, because he's just not going to take damage here. Alright. And lava does so much damage! So this map sucks. So this is a lava world. Apparently. Allegedly it's a lava world. For part of it. It's partly a lava world. I am going to die in the first room. We're just ollieing out of here. We don't need to kill anything here. I'd rather not immediately get exploded on the lava. This is what we have here. Okay. Oh god. Oh goodness. Oh jeez. Oh golly. There's so many of these guys. Ah, ah. There we go. We can just lock on. That's fine. So this room, there's nothing here yet. There's a couple of weapon increases. A full health Gemini so that we don't die immediately. And also one of these. So we almost have full health. And it just looks so cool to see that HP bar fill up to max. Just to watch the circle just fill. Alright. Gotta be careful with your platforming in the lava sections. Don't want to accidentally explode and set yourself on fire. The scary thing is that hovering, you cannot go backwards, so you have to like awkwardly shimmy left and right. But we get some machine gun capacity increase. It's also such a good sense of progression to get those weapon like capacity increases. It just feels like you're getting stronger just by being able to use more weapons. And here we have, I think, grenades. Yes, we get a stash of grenades. So here, we have this giant tongue. And this is where the actual main stage of Escabone takes place at. Excuse me. So you'll see, this is a mouth, that's a tongue. This isn't a lava stage. This is barely a lava stage. What this actually is one of those old school TV American cartoons where you go into the body of your friend and you shrink down. Except you don't shrink down. But most of the stage takes place inside this body. It also has probably the scariest boss fight of the game. Not scary as in like difficult, but scary as in hard. Ow. He just point blank grenaded me. Anyway, let's take care of these guys. Let's just rocket these fellas. And, oh god. Switching through weapons is so hard. So we got a homing missile here. And eventually we'll just kill everything. Let's see. Another set of these guys. We just blow them up with some homing missiles. When in doubt, use explosives. When in doubt, just explode things. I honestly cannot aim. But what's nice is that this game doesn't really require you to aim that well. You can get through most of it by having non-existent aim. Especially in third person because, you know, auto-aim. Alright, let's see. Let's shoot this guy down. Let's take his gun. And then... This is like a world that I didn't, like... This isn't the world I would have preferred to show off, but it's just sort of the order of how, like, I would have had to play the game. And also, like I mentioned, the boss fight, like, it's hell, but it's such a cool concept, too, that I couldn't help but, like... If there's any boss fight to show off, it's that one. So let's just make it through here. I also think this is probably the longest stage, which makes sense, because most people playing this game would end up playing Lupus's Worlds last, because he's the last character you get. Because obviously you can't... As Juno, you unlock Vila after the second stage. So it's entirely possible to, like, for Juno to be the last person at Lazarus Palace. Oh my god, I am dying. Where did my health bar go? Okay, we survived. Easy, didn't break a sweat. We have 1 HP left. Pick up your head. Oh, speaking of which, I want to see how many heads have I collected. I want to see if I can activate any of the cheat codes. Just to show off what they look like. Control, cheats. No cheats yet. They unlock every few heads collected, so let's check the menu to see how many I can get. Wait. This is also strange, that you can just... that they have a health window. I'm literally dying. But, this is, tribals, no, inventory. This is what we need to look at. It's like a cool, like, I've only collected 11 heads. That's strange. I could have sworn I picked up more. But it is what it is. I believe you need 50 to get the first cheat code. So we're probably not going to see that today. Not super pertinent. I'm going to die immediately in this room. Oh god. Go get him! Go get him, Lupus! We got one. We got one. Ah! They got me! That's fine. I think there's a checkpoint midway through the stage at the very least. They're not going to be so rude as to just not let me save any progress. You take a lot of damage here. Come on. There we go. I'm running out of homing missiles, and I really don't want to use, like, a pistol to pick these guys off, because I probably will die trying to do so. Like, I just wish that this program worked properly and that I could see where exactly I'm aiming for non-homing missiles. Ugh. Because with, like, the non-explosives, it's fine. Alright, I got one of them. Plasma shotgun, don't fail me now. They're strafing too much. It's the old case of aim where they're going, not where they're at. There we go, we got another one. One more. One more. So take this guy out. There we go. I think that's it. There we go. Now we can just cruise on out of here. I think that's the end of the area. So we should be safe. There we go. Area cleared. I was most accurate with a pistol, surprisingly. And I deployed almost 400 bullets of machine gun. This. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about, like, interesting level design in regards to, like, places you can and can't go through. So first off, let's get some of these. And I think there's a place to regen armor here. But if you take a look at how this room is set up, you can go straight through and ignore everything, but there's also these holes at the top, because if you look, these are exits. And I don't think there's enemies through here, but what there is, another one of these guys. We have some tokens we can pick up. We should have enough for a full refill. All we really need to refill is our ammo, because we're almost out of, or we're pretty much out of rockets. So it's good to refill on homing missiles. Weapon ammo. And that's it. But the interesting thing about the rooms, like, if you notice those lights at the top, you'll see that, I don't know if Lupus himself can do it alone, but you can see right above there, there's flat surfaces there, which is to hint at the fact that later on you'll be able to fly even higher, which again, is just really cool how the game designs itself that way, to just hint at everything. Kind of like a Metroidvania. I actually believe, I was looking it up, that the designers said they took a lot of inspiration from Super Metroid when they made this game, which I can totally see with the way the backtracking works. I think it's really cool. Yeah, here, we have this jetpack pad that will actually let you fly as any character, not just Lupus, because every character gets an armor upgrade, is what it is. And, ooh, when you get the armor upgrades, they look really cool. Like, they get, like, fat jetpacks and, like, battle armor. It really feels like you're, like, getting stronger, even if it's just, like, cosmetic. Though I don't know if you actually do take less damage when they get the upgraded suits. Let's see. How did they just stagger from that and not completely die? That's just rude. I do not appreciate the fact that these brown ants don't get killed by the tri-rocket launchers immediately. And the fact that I take so much damage from them while killing them. That's just not fair. It's a little rude if you ask me. Grenade? You know, we'll grenade each other. I throw an explosive, you throw an explosive, we both lose, like, our legs. And let's see. Enemies behind us? I swear I found all the brown ones. Get out of here. And you too. At least they have the courtesy to drop healing items for me. That we can appreciate. But still, just this world in general. Like, I think it's cool that the planet is just you're inside a giant worm. But it feels like once you exit the world, it really is just one massive punchline. And I don't think it's a punchline that anyone is, like, gonna get surprised by. We entered through the mouth, we go through the entire dungeon, you know where we're leaving through. Alright, get out of here. Oh, he exploded! Oh, the way things get gimped in this game is just so good. Hello, hero. How are you doing? I'm currently playing through a classic good old retro game, Jet Force Gemini, released in 1997 on the N64. Made by the same company that made hit classics like Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. And right now, we're currently in the body of an entire worm. How are you doing today, hero? You having a good time? There's so many doors here, too. I think we can go on top here, though. We cannot go on top here. And that's another thing the game does. Like, right out of the gate, even in Goldwood, the game hints at you, like, at these key doors. And it's just such a tease that you have to, like, go through so much to eventually find all the keys. Or like how certain characters are only able to get certain keys. Like how Vila is the only character who can get the blue key. But then you realize that, yeah, you really do have to go, like, through each of the worlds as each character. So, like, it's an interesting way to pad the length of the game, and I don't think they even needed to do it like that, because they could have just made separate, smaller worlds, but I feel like they were committed to making each of the worlds feel big. Which I could respect. I mean, 12 worlds, 12 full worlds in a, what is it, an N64 era game is pretty ambitious. Like, even Banjo-Kazooie only had, like, 9 or 10 main worlds. Like, they've put a lot of effort into, like, hiding around nooks and crannies everywhere for you to, like, be able to find things. And I think that's one of my favorite things about collectathons as a genre in general, is, like, being able to find those little hidden nooks and crannies is just really satisfying. It's, like, why I like Banjo-Kazooie so much. And, like, why I like, God, even, I honestly, like, thinking back to it, I don't know if anyone else here played it, like, Yooka-Laylee. I like how things were in that game. Like, my only gripe with that game was that it was too short. But honestly, it felt like a fun platformer, aside from the fact that once you get to the last level, you get an ability that trivializes the rest of the game. But honestly, at that point, you've already played enough to earn that, I feel. It's like in Kingdom Hearts 2 how gliding kind of trivializes the whole of the game. It just, I don't know, being able to backtrack without it feeling tedious is just really, like, a nice thing. Because if you had to backtrack and you didn't have improved mobility, it's like one of those, it feels less fun and more like a chore. Like, you don't feel like you got stronger when you can't burst through areas that you used to, like, that were a struggle to go through in the past. If that makes sense. Like, or like, even, like, with the environment, like, when you go through an entire area and it opens a door that loops back to the beginning, so that you don't have to backtrack through all the puzzles, and you can immediately start from the end. Like, that kind of design is always, like, really nice to me. Ooh. It's so scary in these tight corridors, too, because, like, yeah, I can blast everything immediately with a tri-rocket launcher, but I can also lose a quarter of my health immediately. But yeah, I feel like Icor didn't, the previous level didn't really overstay its visit, but I feel like this stage here really does feel a little bit longer than it needs to. And, like, I feel like the payoff is really good, but I feel like there's a lot of the same. Yeah, gotta watch out for that rocket splash damage, honestly. It's not that I'm not aware of it, or that I'm not watching out for it, but, it's more that my brain just thinks, I gotta go fast, I gotta zoom, gotta get out of here, we gotta save the president, and then I end up just running into walls because of it. Sometimes you just gotta BOOM! Thankfully, you can be a little bit more careless in rooms like this, where you can see the health in plain sight, so you don't have to worry about, like, dying, because you know what health is there. And you can see, like, here's another health Gemini, so what, we're at almost full HP? We're safe, we're not in any danger, we're good. And now we have to just go here. That's lava. I almost walked into the lava again. Oh, they made the lava do so much damage. It's, like, really scary. Like, you accidentally fall into lava 4 times and you just die. Also, you die. Why does this guy explode faster to the tri-rocket launchers than those brown ants do? That's what also is confusing to me. Like, I know that you fight the big guys earlier on in the game, so it makes sense for them to be as killable as they are at the start. But those brown ants just do not mess around. And yeah, as you notice, Lupus's special ability is pretty obvious compared to the other 2 characters in that he can fly. Because, like, swimming, you don't really see many instances where you need to as Vila, and lava even less so. But flying is just really cool. Hovering, like, not needing to, like, walk to places, that is a very good ability. So, like, Lupus, like, very apparently is, like, just a very cool character to play as compared to Juno and Vila. Oh, cool. Let's take these guys out with the homing missiles. Shoop! And then shoop! And then shoop! And then shoop! I'll spend all my rockets on this one. Pretty easy, pretty harmless. There we go. And now, machine gun! You know, I haven't used a machine gun at all of this map, I don't think. But, like, I feel like this might be even... I feel like this is a lot safer than using the tri-rocket launcher. It's killing them relatively quickly, too. I see big rockets, and my brain just goes, rocket go brrr, brrr. That guy literally threw a grenade into the wall. I don't know what you were going for, buddy, but, I appreciate the effort. And there we go. Lupus has his max HP too. So every character on this file has max HP. It's, like, interesting, though, because you never have to worry about max HP. Like, you stop gaining HP halfway through the game, essentially. Alright, so now... you just have to walk through here. And I think what we're looking for is that magenta key, which is right there. So we're just gonna kill things. Actually, I think I can just auto-aim through this. Yeah, auto-aim is the god. And then there's a couple of bugmen over here. We'll take these bugs out. I like how, like, they sound so affected by the wind, even though this is, like, inside of a body. What wind is there to be pushing you around? And there we go. That's a magenta key. I don't think we saw any keys obtained, like, on the ground yet, but basically, you can obtain them from characters, or you can obtain them just because that's where they're placed. And this is one of the examples of it's just placed there. And there we go. Just take that guy out. And I think that should be the door. There we go. So you know me. I don't know. I think it's just a common thing. You see two paths. You know the path is the correct path to go through. You're not going to go through it. You're going to go through the path that you didn't go through, because that path seems really important. Magenta key is over here. Now here's a question. I got the magenta key, so is this where they want me to go, or is the Life Force store where they want me to go? This is a loop, isn't it? Yes, this is a loop. So I believe that door, that other magenta key door, is the end of the stage. So we're almost done here. It wasn't too bad. So we're gonna just check out that Life Force store. There might be some extra goodies. You know, I'll never say no to extra ammo. Extra capacity, I should say. And those are arpeggios here. I think those are arpeggios. I think that's the note progression there. That part of that melody, like, is such a strong part of the theme here. Oh, this is a Floyd stage. So, like the sign that you saw in Juno's stage earlier. Wait, I can access this now. So we'll get to show this off. Because we have Floyd here. They have these mini-games scattered throughout the world, where we just need to, like, do some kind of mission. In this case here, we have to just collect strands of DNA in a certain amount of time. We have to do it in a certain amount of time, which is much faster than how I'm doing it right now. If there's anything worse than the third-person control here, it's the acceleration in this first-person control. The acceleration is nuts. I hate this so much. Oh god, this is awful. I'm like scraping against the floor. Like, how do people do this fast? I couldn't imagine speedrunning the Floyd missions. You just see me, like, struggling to, like, go anywhere? Oh god. I'm bumping into everything. I got this, I got these. I got him. Oh, F-Zero-X! F-Zero's so fun. I don't think I got the merit. Which is, like, the worst that you could get. I'm not even gonna bother again. Oh, F-Zero-X is really fun, but I'm so bad at that. I remember I played that a long time ago, and, I think I beat the Jack Cup, and I think I almost beat the Queen Cup. So I got pretty hard filtered by the game. It's so fun, though, going, like, racing that fast. But I even feel like I had more control there than I do in the Floyd missions. I think it might be because it's in third person. And I'm very biased against first person. Alright, so now we go through here. I think this is the boss room. Yes. So here we're going to see the last of the stage bosses. Yeah, and the speed is what makes it fun. I love just going fast in general, which is why I play really carelessly. But, this is the last of the personal bosses. And you can see, like I said, the punchline is very obvious. You enter through the mouth. The exit is the butt. This is awful. I hate this so much. This is the worst. I think the implication is that Lupus was killing drones as he was flying out. He scratches his head too. Like, I feel like there's only so much you could do, like, expression-wise with Lupus. But then we see the lone tribal here. For some reason, he's running off on his own. I don't know why he's doing this. This is not particularly sensible. But, you know, he's trying his best. And Lupus is on the other side of that, is like, oh man, that kid's gonna get got. So obviously you have to run over and save the tribal. But you get stopped. I don't think they let us move. I think it's all cutscene, but I remember it took my brother and I so many tries to beat this boss. And then when I replayed the game when I was a little bit older, I was like, wait, this boss isn't hard. So Lupus just straight up just hovers around. I wish I could hover for that long normally in the game. He's just straight up infinitely flying. That's not fair. So he's just going, stops for a bit. You hear more of that weird baby sound effect. Oh god, they keep on using that. And god, this boss is so cool! Look at that. It's a praying mantis with a laser arm and a scythe. Ah! That sound effect. And he jumps over to you, right? The praying mantis with the gun jumps behind you. He jumps in front of you. And he dodges. And then you realize, and then you realize what this boss fight is actually going to be. 1, 2 of them! There's 2 of these guys that you have to deal with. And there's like, I just love the design of these dudes. Like the giant rocket arm and the praying mantis, it's just, like, you could put that in a game nowadays and people would think that's the hottest shit. It's so cool looking. Like, oh god. The only thing that would have made it cooler is if they had opposite sides as robot arms. I think that would be the coolest thing. Like, it's such a cheesy design, but it works and it's cool as hell. And this cutscene is so long for me to have to fight these guys. So you see that they're making those 2 rows. So again, just like the last boss fight, every boss fight in this game is on a 2D field. Like, you always have to strafe left and right, and then you aim up and down. Oh god. Oh god, aiming here is gonna be awful. So you have to hit the flash. It's flashing. So you just have to keep on shooting them when they're flashing. That's the thing about the boss fights in this game. It's not completely obvious, like it should be obvious. But what it is that they're only vulnerable when they glow. And I think that might be what tripped me up as a kid so much, is that I didn't wait for the glows. Get the hell out of here. You're donezo, kiddo! And they have the tail cannon too. That's also really sick. So you can see they're just jumping around side to side. This was so hard when I was young. But like right now, I'm kind of just boom, boom, boom. Oh, I didn't wait for the flash. But we're also almost out of tri-rocket launches. Yowza! Ow! Oh, Lupus also apparently cannot fly in this boss fight. So that's something that we have to deal with. Am I missing? Wait, do we have to go under cover? Yeah, we have to go under cover when they jump over. That makes sense. That's also an interesting use of the battlefield, I think. We're almost out of tri-rocket launchers though, so this is going to be a little bit harder. So, I think that's really cool how we have to use the environment a little bit more to your advantage. Okay. So now we just have to wait, but still. Just the usage here, that like, you have to pay attention to the fact that there's cover here, because there's kind of cover in the other boss fights as well, but it's not as apparent. Anyway, shut the hell up. Let me get your arm next, buddy. Boom, boom. Don't jump away. I think that loses us our lock-on. What we just... Oh, man, that's so bad. I didn't realize the cover can break. Alright, we have the cover there, though, or we have the lock-on, though. So it seems like it's permanent at the very least, which is very useful. Permanent cover is really nice. Oh, wait, no. I think he slices it. That's what it is. And you can see, it's only vulnerable for such a small amount of time, which I think is what would trip up most kids, is that you realize that it's not, like, you can always hit them. But you just wait for them to blink. It's tricky. And it's probably really easy just, as a kid, to lose all your explosives and have to deal with, like, the really bad weapons to finish off this fight. You have to wait a bit. Uh-oh. Let me get a lock on here. I need a lock on here. Okay, or that works again. Boom. And one more. Boom. Alright, come on. So we just have to wait. We're still pretty green, though. I'm not scared of dying here, because, again, I haven't been hit too much. It's just, you have to be so patient with this boss fight. And we're out of explosives. So now we have to aim like real players. Oh, this is so bad. But it doesn't seem like the sensitivity is too hard on the aim here. I think I'm at a pretty good aiming angle. There we go. We can get a good... There we go! Nice, nice. So now we just need to get the other guy. Wait, I lost so much HP. When did I lose an entire ring of HP? That's the other thing. This boss fight's really long because there's two of them. But also... Let me see. They're jumping back and forth. You have to break so many parts for this one. Oh god, that sonic wave is scary. Uh-oh. There we go. Got a strafe, got a strafe, got a strafe. And he's also just not letting himself be hit, which is one of my least favorite things that a boss can do in a boss fight, is not let themselves be hit. It's just so... It just means you have to be more patient. Left side? Ugh. But it looks like the guy on the left looks dazed as all hell. So I think breaking that last tail might be the end of it. Hopefully. I don't have any more explosives, so I really would like for it to be the end. Like, you can only shoot him once per time, and then he just jumps away. Like, this boss is so rude! The other guy was letting me go for 2 shots. So it's like extending the boss fight and making you dodge more by just not giving you as many opportunities to hit. Oh god. And if you miss, then, well, good luck. Not having homing missiles is just tragic. But I messed up at the start because I wasn't being patient initially. Oh. Like, you only get 1 shot. You know what? We're going for the machine gun. I think the machine gun might be more effective here. If I can only get him once, I might as well unload on him. There we go. There we go! Is that the end of the boss fight? Are we done? Oh god, no, we're not. Oh, but now we can just keep on hitting them, I think. And they're just spitting on us. They seem to be only, like, temporarily susceptible, like, when they land, also. That's pretty interesting. You have to dodge it, just gotta wait for them to jump down. It's so weird how they only have, like, vulnerability frames at specific moments. That's, like, also, like, strange boss design to me. Like, gameplay-wise, I think the boss is, like, a strange boss fight, but aesthetically, like, that's such a disappointment sometimes. Like, I forgot how long the second part of this boss fight just drags on for. Especially if you don't have any weapons. Especially if you use all your rockets immediately. Alright. We've got to be almost done, though. I missed. Oh, the plasma rifle. Why does it take so much to hit with? Yeah, it's like, I can't tell what is doing more damage, because I don't know if I'm missing a lot with the machine gun, or if I'm just straight up, like... Well, that one just didn't hit. I think the machine gun is just better for the sake of the fact that I can, at the very least... Never mind, I can't even hit them. Ow, oh god. Oh. It's like, why can I only hit you when you land and reel back? And we gotta jump. I'm like getting lazy with dodging, which is bad because I only have 1 health bar left. Ow, 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 ow. And I can survive on 1 health bar, but I should probably try not to make that the case where I'm that low. Please, goodness, let this boss fight end already. This is misery. Oh god, I'm out. I have to use a plasma rifle now. Unfortunate. We just have to dodge and be patient, you know? It's just dodging, being patient. We're getting hits on, too. We're missing there. How many more hits do these guys have? I know it's my fault, unfortunately, but if I die, my revenge will be very sweet. Because I will not waste my tri-rocket launch like I did this time. Ugh. This is another thing. Another minor gripe. It would be nice if they had health bars. You know? I know it adds to the sense of tension to not have a health bar. But this is a situation where it's like, it goes from being tense to just monotony. Like, the first part of this boss fight is so cool. And then it just drags on. I think that might have been why it took so long for my brother and I to, like, do this. Because this part here... Alright, buddy. Ouch. Are you just vulnerable? Let's see. I think I need to have my camera up a bit more. Alright. I'm getting... I think we're a little too high. Please stop. Please do not make me kill you with a pistol. They're really making me do this, aren't they? Oh wait! I have the sniper rifle! Do I have to get the abdomen? I'm so mad. I was aiming at the wrong place the entire time! How was I supposed to know it was the abdomen? Wait, I'm out of machine gun. I like how they default to the machine gun for every cutscene. Like, every time, it's just... Even if they don't have the machine gun is what they use in the cutscene. Alright. And all Lupus can do is howl. No dialogue for the doggo. Alright. So what's next is, like I said, every character has their own, set of 3 stages, and then it reconverges, which is really cool. So we're actually gonna go all 3 characters to the next stage, which is gonna be Mizar's Palace. And then we're gonna get, like, that'll be the midpoint of the game. And essentially what I plan on doing is I want to play through all of Mizar's Palace. And once I play through the Palace, you'll see that the game really opens up. And I'm not gonna do much of it, but I do want to showcase some of, like, how, like, going through different worlds with different characters really changes up how the game feels. It's like, you think about Final Fantasy 13, and how people talk about, no bro, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Final Fantasy 13 gets really good when the overworld opens up. But this is, like, unironically, like, the same kind of a concept, that it goes from being a very linear game to then turning into, like, a very open experience that, like, you really have to go, like, explore every single nook and cranny. So that makes... So that's... Those are pretty much the 3 characters. We went through Juno, Vila, and Lupus. And now, every character's landing in Mizar's Palace, and we're all reconvening in the same location. Which is so neat. Like... Oh, I love games that have you play as different characters, and then they have all those characters reconvene into, like, one sort of grouping again. Like, it just feels so cool that they join back together like this. Like those moments in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep where Terra, Aqua, and Ven all get to join together again. Or like in the SNES RPG Live Alive, where you play as characters from 7 different time periods, and once you beat all those time periods, they all reconvene into one joined world crossing over. And it's just... I love that kind of stuff where you can connect with each of the characters independently, and then they're all together. So here Lupus is dropping the ship off, and now we are in Mizar's Palace, which also has a pretty interesting theme to it. I like the music here, but I don't know, like, where I would place it in terms of, like, the mood. It sounds very, like... It sounds like high stakes here is what I would say. Like, not dire, but like the battle really is building up here. I think that's a good way to put it. And what I think is also neat about Mizar's Palace is that, like I mentioned, you go to the other worlds with other characters, and Mizar's Palace really is the first place where, like... Oh, hell. Oh god, get me out of here. Oh god, I don't have any items. I don't have anything. We're leaving. There better not be a Life Force store in this room. Alright. They can fight. Oh, there's a Life Force store. Oh, hell nah! Not like this. Not like this. Cluster Bomb? I think I could Cluster Bomb my own feet and then die. I just need like 1 set of gun ammo. Oh, this is upsetting. When did I run out of plasma? Oh, right. I did run out of plasma shotgun. Oh, god! Alright. How are they gonna drop you off in Mizar's Palace immediately and not give you any ammo to pick up? That's a little mean. But regardless, like I was saying, this world, we're actually gonna, instead of doing this, I want to go back to Juno just so we switch characters up. And it's actually really cool how you can switch up the characters in the pause screen. Okay. So we're gonna play as Juno. We're gonna go straight to Mizar's Palace. Are we at Mizar's Palace right now? There we go. So they're tailored to each character because right after this world is done, you get the freedom to go everywhere. So this is sort of here to tell you, like, oh yeah, Juno can walk on lava, so we give him a lava room. Vila's entire area here, she has to go underwater. And Lupus, well, you play the entire game as Lupus. Most of his sections already included hovering, so that one is pretty self-explanatory. But I think it's a really cool way how they, like, sort of make sure every player is aware of the abilities that each character has. I think that's, like, really interesting design. Okay, so we take these, just pick up a head. You know, just for good measure. Let's shoot this guy out. Boom. Let me copy head for a little bit. Let me copy feelers. So this is where it all splits up, because Lupus starts somewhere else, but Juno and Vila both start in this area, and you'll notice. So there's a door over there, but then there's also a door down here, and this is where Vila goes through Miser's Palace. Everyone goes through a different area of this world, and it all reconvenes in a sort of central area. So it's pretty cool there how, like, it puts you in each of those, like, sort of spots. Like here, this is the lobby. Don't think there's enemies in here. And so you'll see that this is a palace. Oh, this part of the track. Oh, I love how this sounds. It, like, puts a sense of wonder. Like, this part sounds, like, really, like, mysterious. Alright. Oh god, I have no rocket launchers, and I must shoot. Are these rockets? I'll take the machine gun ammo, I guess. What is flying? Oh, these things. Yeah, that's fine. That's appropriate for the machine gun. Really wish I'd try rocket launcher, though, but we can just take this guy out with a machine gun anyway. Machine gun! Heavy machine gun! Oh, there's a guy up there, too. That's scary. At least they had the decency to put some Geminis here, because every character comes into Miser's Palace with whatever health they had during their last boss fight. So for the most part, I feel like the regular player is gonna come into, like, Miser's Palace with, like, no HP. I think I was pretty lucky to come into this with, like, 2 bars of HP for Juno. Alright. Let's shoot that guy. You know what? Screw you in particular, dude. I am getting blasted. There we go. You can see... I don't think there's anything up there aside from that enemy, but, like, it looks like something that would have something hidden there. I always love that kind of, like, question, like, is there something hidden here? Will I get a new item here? Will there be a tribal? Actually, will I get a tribal is, like, the least of my worries. I don't care about these little buggers. I also think I forgot to pick up the homing missiles with Juno for some reason, but that's neither here nor there. Juno's not the one who fights the boss of this world, thankfully. And we have some more. Yeah, you can see that there's some hit invisible items here, and when those ammo packs are invisible, that means it's for a weapon you don't have. But everyone should have all their main weapons, so I just don't have homing missiles. I think the neat thing, though, is that if you don't have weapons that you were supposed to get in one character's world, the same chest, like, I got homing missiles in Lupus's stage during his second world. So if I go there as Juno, I'll be able to get homing missiles the same way. So I don't have to open every chest. Like, it's not like there's only one of each item in the chest, I believe. I could be wrong there, but I think that's the case. And I actually might check to see whether or not I'm right. Because I think it's something to consider, like, also in terms of, like, the design of this game. Alright. Splat these guys all over the wall. Just give me a good splatteroo. Haha! Splat-two! God, having to fight with the plasma shotgun feels so bad. Like, fight distant enemies. Fighting enemies on the same level as you is whatever. But aiming with a shot... I mean, it's in the name. It's a plasma shotgun. So trying to go for a distance shots with that is just like... It's like the opposite of shooting fish in a barrel, I guess? Fish in a barrel is like supposed to be super easy, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what the saying means. Alright, and this is extra shotgun. They're giving us a lot of shotgun capacity here, which I think is interesting, because... Let's see, where's my shotgun ammo? Because if we go to the next room, and if you didn't pick up the flares, which you might not have, because it's possible to have missed that treasure chest. The plasma shotgun actually also does a job of lighting up rooms if you just hold the charge. And I think that's a really neat detail, that they gave you extra ammo just for that. Ooh, wait, I missed another one of these up and recharge things. There's actually like a strat to this game. I'm not going to get to it, so I'm going to just talk about it. The final boss of this game has to be fought using only Juno. And the ammo capacity upgrades, like, the ones that I'm picking up as Juno now, cannot be picked up as any other character, because they're, like, essentially once per character. So if Juno picks it up, Vila won't be able to pick it up, and vice versa. If there's a drop in, like, one of Vila or Lupus's worlds, then if they don't take it, Juno can pick it up. So what a lot of players apparently do is just save all the Tri-Rocket Launcher upgrades for Juno so that he can just unload on the final boss, and I think that's really interesting how it's made that way. Also, like I said earlier, I walked into the fire. That would hurt Vila and Lupus, but again, it's showing that example that... What is it? Ugh! It's showing the example that Juno has, like, fire resistance, and that extends to lava. So I think that's really just a cool way of showcasing that. Also, there's a maze here. Get the hell out of here. I might die in the maze. Full grenade ammo. There's like stray single health Geminis here, and that's bad because these don't heal a lot. I hurt myself for approximately half of a life bar just by shooting a wall, if I'm too close to it. Like, I actually have to be really careful here because it's super close quarters with not a lot of health. So I want to make sure that I'm not just going to blow myself up in a repeated process. At least when I do so, make sure that I picked up enough Gemini so that I don't immediately die. There we go, back to one full health bar. And this maze, I hate mazes like these. Like, I don't think the one here is that bad. But man, does it get worse. Like, this room isn't too bad, because they have like all these pickups to let you know if you've been in an area or not. But then, they throw in an item that you only use, like, literally, I'm pretty sure, like, once. What is this? I swear to God I was here. Yeah, they do this to you. You. The only use for flares. To make sure you don't get lost in the maze. They're actually pretty nice for trackers, honestly. Like, you can see that the corner there was lit up, so I know that right turn there. Like, it's interesting how, like, I used to just write this off, but it does have its own fair share of uses, like, to help me be less lost. Yeah, what is this firing squad? Okay. Save the tribals first. Here's what we're gonna do. I don't understand this room. Aside from the fact that there are tribals in here. And, like, weird cockroaches. Please just... I hate these things. They make me feel all weird. Anyway. Yeah. Another thing to note. You guys have seen the blue ants and the brown ants and the green sniper ones. The yellow drones just surrender. And I don't know, like, if there's anything that you get for not killing them. But it's always so strange to me that they put these surrendering ants here. It doesn't, like, do anything. It might be, like, pertinent for a life force store, maybe, but that's about the majority of what I can think it'd be used for. It's, like, so strange. Also, thank goodness that those health pickups regenerate. Alright. And here's a lava room. Here's where one player would accidentally probably be scared to walk into the lava, but then you realize Juno does not care. Lupus loses an entire life bar every time he falls in. Juno just walks through. Big Chad energy. He's got the magma boots. He does not care. He's got the fancy footwork. I'm about to shoot someone. Also, let's get some of these. Let me pick up this. Hopefully it's Tri-Rocket Launcher. Because, you know, every character having more rocket launchers is just... It's hard to argue against having less Tri-Rocket Launcher ammo than more. Can you please stop shooting at me? I'm sunlocking him! I'm sunlocking him! Ooh, how does it feel to get sunlocked, AI? And here we have another bonus feature. Like, earlier in the game, like at the start of the stream, if you were there, I mentioned, like, these totems and, like, how one was, like, underwater. So yeah, they're all over the world. Some of them are just really easy to get, like this one. I'd assume for most players, if you didn't find a bonus totem at this point, this would be the point where you'd see the first one, because, you know, there's this big bug there, and then the giant hole in the wall. So, I think that's also cool how it shows you, like, they give you a really obvious one to go for. Not to say that there aren't other obvious ones, like, there's a couple earlier on in the game that you can find really easily. But that one, they literally just throw that one at you. 128.57%, that's like an A+++. Alright, so here it is. This is where all the characters will reconvene at. And you'll see there's this giant floating ring in the center. And you can see all of this stuff is flying around the area. So we're gonna have to do what I don't want to do. And that is... sorry. You go over here, you'll see there's all these like weird looking Triforce things, not Zelda by the way. And if we just walk through this area, somewhere in this room is... What the hell is this? You know what? I'm not gonna wait to find it. This room is a Floyd mission. So it's the first part in the game where you actually have to, is this where I entered from? No. This is not where I entered from. Here it is, yeah. So you enter this small pyramid. And you see there's a Floyd statue, a Floyd, No, oh wait, this is a different room altogether. This is one of the first ship parts is what it is. That's like the tutorial to use a jetpack is what it is. Because you'll see up there, there's going to be a ship part once the ship parts unlock. But, there's going to be another pad in this room, and what you're going to have to do, how we end up beating the game, not only do we have to get here with Juno, Vila, and Lupus, but we also have to do a Floyd mission, so it really does bring all the characters together. You even have to play as a little helper droid, and I think that's pretty neat. I think it's kind of cool how they did that. Are these doors? I'm like getting flashbacks to Banjo-Tooie multiplayer, where like they had these walls here that looked like they could be doors, and like sometimes they were, and then like your friend would sneak up on you because they used one of the trap doors, and they'd be like, ah, guess I'm dead. Sound of giant exploding grenades. Oh man. I might go back and like look at Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie and make files for those as well. Because there are some parts of Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie that are really fun, and then there's the engine room. That's basically my entire stance on Banjo-Tooie. Oh, yeah. And there's this door here. Some doors, it says, like, Juno can't open this door. That's another hint that, like, characters will be able to go from other worlds, or other worlds that they didn't initially start at. Because that's actually where Vila escapes her trials at. She goes through the entire underwater section and then stops out here. So whoever you get here first, it doesn't matter who. Anyone can activate this, and I think this is actually where the panel is? No. It's not here. It's got to be somewhere around here. I swear, I know it's gonna be in this room somewhere. I forget where they placed the Floyd mission platform, but I do want to at least beat this. Or not at least. I want to find it. Please show me. Because I know it's not like I have to go through, get here with all three characters. That would be just strange. But I'm trying to figure out where they hid the, statue, or the platform for this. Gotta be somewhere. And I hate... If there's anything I hate doing, it's mindless wandering around. Is it here? Or is this where I entered from? Yeah, this is where I entered from. Thank you for telling me that I cleared the gate. Cleared it again. And so we search. Yeah, I think another thing is that it would be nice if it was a little bit more obvious where I go. Do I just press B or A on that thing? Because there's this over here. And I think this is where Lupus comes in. Because they all have their own entrances because, again, they all converge to the same place. But... Wait. Is this it? There we go. We found it. Jesus. So now, what we have to do here... Thankfully, there's no rating. You just have to collect the pyramid keys. The only thing that you're being timed with is... Wait, are we being timed? Oh, we have a minute to do this. So you are timed. That's stressful. To control Floyd in a minute. Ah! Oh god, I am so good at piloting. Help! Help! We can slow down a little bit. Oh god, this is so hard. We got the first one down. And we have to go through and get this one here. And I fly straight through. We got it. Now we just need to get the one over here. 19 seconds to do so. God, the controls on this, it's so, like, slidey. There we go! What? Am I not done? Am I not done? Oh, I have to go back into the center. Don't die. I'm so sad. Not like this. I'm stuck on the wall. Locate and enter the pyramid. Oh, I see. So we get all three, and then we have to go into that place where I saw with the jetpack panel earlier. Simple. It'd be simple if I didn't miss. And this isn't too bad of an introduction, because it's like, it's got its own amount of challenge to it. Like, the time limit's pretty tough. And it's very easy to just bonk into a wall. But it's very simple. You're only collecting 3 things, you're not going through any hallways, so you get more freedom with— oh god, controlling. Oh god. Oh. Lightly enter through the hole here. Alright. And then we go down here. 18 seconds. I'm scraping along the floor. Oh! There's a pyramid. Please, let me in! Is this not the generator? I thought this was a generator. I'm dying now. Thank you forever. I'm so sad. Let's try that again. I guess this is the pyramid generator. I just have to go back to the center, maybe? Let's see. We'll fly back to that one later. This one is like the toughest one to get. Is this the pyramid generator? Where does this lead to? Zoop. Oh, that's the generator, so that's the last one we go to. It's been a while since I did this, but that makes more sense. You know, the big building that has Floyd's icon on it with the pyramid on it? Yeah, of course, genius. That's the pyramid generator. Streamer brain. Ow. First person flying is a mistake. I can't do this for my life. Alright. Then we can just turn around. We can just swoop through here. As long as I get this without having to turn around, we're good. Cool. Now we should be able to slip through here. These remind me of that scene from Star Wars where Luke Skywalker is trying to take out the Death Star, and you have these, like, you gotta get these phasers here. I've never watched Star Wars, I'm gonna be honest, I just know the scene. Anyways, once we do that Floyd mission, I always thought those rings looked super cool too. I don't think they had any sort of symbolic meaning to them, but it looked really cool how they were like spinning around like that. And then now the pyramid rises. This is Mizar's domain. And then what happens is that you go in with Juno, Vila, and Lupus. So we just need 2 other characters to play as. And then the pyramid rises, and then we have a boss fight. And then the game really opens up. The neat thing about talking about a game like this is that I can talk about all of this, like what I've done, like the way I did the save files, and once you get to the ship part section, it looks like I can just go for as long as I feel like streaming for the rest of it, because it really is just how the rest of the game goes. There's not too much else to talk about in the terms of like how the game is. Because you just collect the ship parts and then you just collect all the tribals. Like, it's really interesting how, like, done the game feels afterwards. Like, you have full HP, you have all your weapons, everyone looks decked out, and you really only have the mission of collect all the ship parts, which is just... it feels like the last scavenger hunt, like, to end the game. And that's basically what it is. And you can see here that every character has their own door. You can see that's Lupus' symbol there, the green one. And it turned around, Juno's symbol was back there. The only one who doesn't have there's only one side that doesn't have a symbol, and that's just not an entrance. And I guess it's because it wouldn't make sense for there to be any other entrance. The pyramid drops down. Shame pyramid. Shame pyramid. This is very drawn out too, though. I feel like a lot of cutscenes just try to like play up so much dramatic tension. Also, I love how that pyramid's just clipping through the floor. There aren't any indents or grooves on the pyramid. It just straight falls into it. Yeah, you can see that's Vila's symbol, Lupus' symbol, and Juno's symbol. So every character has to go into their own door. God, it's just... it feels like it's trying to be very movie-like, which I guess when the game opens up and says featured in Dolby surround sound widescreen, I guess it's justified in doing so. but it's just weird when the game itself isn't full screen. I remember when like a lot of games were trying to go for that, and nowadays just every game is in widescreen. So like when you play like a 4:3 game in a widescreen TV for some reason, for like some godforsaken reason, you get black bars on top of black bars, which just looks really funny. You have to go even narrower. We have to go to 16:4. Alright, so Juno goes in here. Very dire music. I think he gets captured straight up. No. Oh yeah, he stands on the platform. They all start standing on the platforms, and then we get our boss fight. So we have two more worlds. Mizar's Palace is super short. Like, if you compare Mizar's Palace to, like, Icor and Escapone and Juno's third stage, it's really not, like, a long stage. This is probably just as long as Goldwood was. But it's a long stage in the sense that you go through it as all three characters. Oh! Juno's face also just looks so weird. Like, actually Vila's face looks weird as well. I think it's just the charm of the N64. Just the way it is. Like, it just oh god, look at that face. Look at his green eyes. Like, I'd get it if, like he had the whites of his eyes and then he had green eyes, but, like, it just kind of looks scary, the way the whole thing is green and then he just has the black irises. Alright, so Juno is floating now. The power of the Star Twins. It's like, he's like holding his arms out like he's looking like Jesus Christ. Alright, so now Juno's gone, we cannot play as him anymore. We're gonna go as Vila, because I think Vila's section is also really short because it's just one whole water maze. So now that we've done the Floyd mission especially, it's really just gonna be go through Mizar's Palace, get to the pyramid, and I feel like we should be able to do that in a pretty quick amount of time, as long as I don't get lost in the maze. If I get lost inside the maze, Booba Lady, it's her. Oh, and I forgot to point out, when you select Vila in the character select screen, like, there's a pretty, like, it's pretty shameless, like, how much of a panty shot they give her. Like, it just, she, like, looks upwards, the camera pans under her, and, like, you just see her underwear. And I played this game when I was, like, 5 or 6. There's also this, when you can kneel, and Jesus, look at that! And then, like, just straight up, very shameless. All I have are pistols. It's a good thing that this room does not have any enemies. And thank you for the sip redeem. I will take a sip. I actually took a sip beforehand, but I forgot to thank you for the redeem, reminding me to take a sip. Alright, we can just kind of avoid everything here. There's really nothing here for us. And we can see Vila can go underwater, and she has a butterfly stroke, I guess because I don't know why. They gave Juno, like, a breaststroke, and she just, like, butterflies through this. And the neat thing about Vila's section is that there's no danger here, there's no enemies. It just sucks because it's just a maze. Oh, interesting. That's true, because Rare is located in the UK, so they didn't probably care as much. And I mean, like, panty shots are, like, whatever. It just seems weird because, I don't know. It just seems very, very blatant. Like, just out there. But I mean, you know what? Sometimes, in order to run around, you just need a skirt. Skirts are easy to move in. Now, hear me out. What if, instead of a skirt, what if they gave her spats? Think about it. Just think about it. It's also good that, like, apparently these were intended to be children when they first made the game, but they were like, you know what, it might be really sci-fi, exactly, form-fitting sci-fi wear. They apparently intended for Juno and Vila to look more like kids, and I think that's what one of the cheat codes does. It's like the Star Force, or like the Gemini kids mode. But I guess I could see why, if they wanted to have the outfits that they're wearing, that they sort of, like, made them look a lot older than that. Because I would just feel very uncomfortable right now. If this was, like, a kid in a skirt like that. But I mean, you know what? It's whatever. Is this... Okay, that's gotta be the exit. Alright, so if that's the exit, there's gotta be There's gotta be something over here. Yeah, there are so many of these here. So many weapon increases. That, like, especially, like I said how players will, like, save all the weapon upgrades for Juno because he fights the final boss. It makes sense to pick up what you can in areas like these because literally only Vila can go through here. So, you know, might as well just pick up anything that you run into here and look for everything. But also, I'm not that dedicated, so I'm gonna go back to the exit. You know, I thought it would take a lot longer to swim through this, but thank goodness it didn't. As long as I didn't get mixed up. Did I get myself turned around? That's the question. No. That's the exit? Wait, is it the exit, or is that... Yes. Let's get out of here. Right? This is the exit? I hate this goddamn game so much! I went in a circle. I feel like that's the same problems I had playing this game as a kid. Every time I would always see that and be like, ooh, green means forward. No. No, it doesn't. I think it's forward. I don't even know why it would be green if that's where we came from. But we just gotta keep going straight. We gotta keep on swimming. And this was the section that I was dreading just talking over. Because it's like, what is there to talk over aside from the fact that Vila has to swim for like 50 years in order to get to her section of Mizar's Palace? It's not like even with like Juno's section where he had enemies to fight. I really just have to go search for this hallway. And like, I think it's cool that they made such a dedicated section to her. But also, I feel like this could have been shorter in lieu of an actual like action segment, because I'm pretty sure she just straight up ends up at the pyramid after this. Let's see, what's this way? We were here. We were already here. At least I can landmark where I've been based on the platforms not having any more items on them. Let's see. Oh god, get me out of here. The actual question is, once I have to play as Lupus again, am I going to be able to survive? I might have to run backwards and like go back to Rithessa or something to get extra armor or extra guns, because not having any guns in a section like that seems really bad. Alright, let's see. So another cool thing about this game, another cool thing is that I didn't talk about the multiplayer mode that much, actually. I think that's another, like, overlooked part, because, you know, most people playing this game probably, like, just playing games in general with your friends, I feel like was a lot harder back then, you know? Like, what's this? Wait. Like, it wasn't really frequently that you could, like, talk to your friends and go, like, hey, let's play video games together, you know? For me, personally, my family had a lot of friends, and their friends had kids, and they would do church things together on like Thursdays. So that was like really how I got most of my experience playing like multiplayer games with friends. But, like, I know a lot of people just don't have that kind of experience. Like, it's so easy to miss something like as cool as the multiplayer mode in this game is, because like you never get the chance to play with anyone. But like, I was talking about all the bonus totems before, and it's like it unlocks like different maps, like yeah, exactly. Like, you go play Street Fighter, like, even, like, Mario Party. I have so many memories of playing, like, Mario Party with friends. Like, because every Sunday we would just go play, or every Thursday it would be choir practice, so we'd play Mario Party. But, like, the multiplayer mode in Jet Force Gemini is really neat, because, like, not only do you get to play as the main characters, but you can also unlock all the drones as well. You can play as the blue ant, you can play as the, you can play as, like, the big giant ants, and, like, they all have their own special properties. At least the main characters obviously do, and like the bigger ants are like huge as hell. But like, it was such a cool thing. And, like, all these maps are so fun to play in like multiplayer. Like the ones they had, like the battlefields were really cool. Like the Rithessa Mines really stuck out to me. I want to see if I could set that up, because I wanted to showcase how some of like the multiplayer maps look. And oh hey, we got all the tribals there. That's pretty cool. If I ever go back to this off stream, at least I have some areas with all the tribals collected. So now that's the waterfall, and Vila walks through here. I'm so happy that didn't take as long as I thought it would. Yeah, I have many a memory because, you know, being in a family that's very church-related, and having other parents who had, like, their kids, or my parents having friends that had kids, it, like, I feel like it's easy to take for granted those kind of memories that I have, because, like, I don't think church choir practice at my parents' house is, like, a common, relatable experience for most people. But it really did give me, like, so many opportunities to just, like, chill and play, like, Smash Bros. Or Mario Party or Mario Kart. Like, every week it was something different. And, like, every Thursday it was just, like, a party. Like, just a weekday party because my parents wanted choir practice. And it's, like, really, like, neat thinking back on it. Just the opportunities that I had. And every game always felt, like, so magic. That was, like, also, like, a really gratuitous panty shot. Oh my god! Like, it's whatever, but, like... Damn, they really knew what they were doing with their camera angles. Jesus. Yeah, like, I remember, like, a lot of my youth, like, I feel like a lot of my taste in games, like, I always like finding, like, strange or, like, weird aesthetic games. Like, one of my favorite games as a kid on the N64 was Army Men Sarge's Heroes. And I think that's the game that really got me into the concept of, like, enjoying, like, really out there concept shooters. Like, I loved how Army Men Sarge's Heroes was, like, all the battlefields, like, it was like playing a soldier game, but then everything was just in, like, a bathtub, on, like, model train sets. Like, they were all, like in a sandbox. I love that concept. I actually mostly played the game with friends. I only played, like, the multiplayer mode, so I never actually got to experience the campaign. But it's just so cool. Oh, I love that kind of aesthetic. Like, when I played TF2 a lot, Team Fortress 2, like, one of my favorite maps, and I know this map sucks ass completely, but CP Toy Box, I think it was, Control Point's Toy Box, was one of my favorite maps because it had that aesthetic. Oh hey, I'm at full HP. We are going to backtrack to another world to refill our ammo. Because I do not have the... Do I have the mental capacity to do this? We're gonna go back temporarily. We'll have to go through the flight sequences, that's whatever. I really do not have the brain power to just try and just gun down a set of flying ships and 4 big guys. Alright. Thanks for stopping by though, Headless. I hope you have fun. I hope you have a good rest of your shift. I hope it doesn't go too hard for you. Wage slaving truly is a tough time. I feel that. I came back from slaving and only had like about 90 minutes of a break, and then I went back to this. I like cooked some food. I made spam with brown rice and what was it? Spam with brown rice and a fried egg. It was pretty good. I know like my brain is not good, but man, frying an egg is really hard when you're not trying to break the yolk. Also, I am not finding the right ammo. We have to go back to Rithessa, which is fine because I wanted to hear the music for this world anyway. Because I think this world has just such a good soundtrack. So while I'm looking for ammo, I can just fly out. Because god, at least machine gun ammo, at least something to tide me over. There weren't any blue drones for me to like pick up machine gun ammo off of. Yes. It sounds really tense, but then the music has such a good build-up. Like that low cello, like duh, 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 duh. And then the oboe. I love the oboe so much. It's one of my favorite instruments, honestly. Like sound-wise, I would never want to play it because I don't have the brain to play a double-reeded instrument. That's just really hard. Oh, that oboe, the way it comes, I'm pretty sure that's an oboe. It might be a bass clarinet too, but it just sounds so good. That like low woodwind. Though oboes aren't low. Was that a bassoon then? I could be just a complete idiot. But bassoon, oboe, bass clarinet all just sound really, like, good. That woodwind sound is just unmatchable. Alright, I guess I have to... Wait. We got some machine gun ammo. We're gonna try to refill. I'm gonna be very conservative with my ammo here. Oh, cool! Thanks for the grenade support from the back, idiot. Ow. Alright. You, die. You dropped your gun, asshole! Yeah, this part. I love, like, that transition. It sounds so triumphant. Like, you know, you cleared out the spawn ship and now you're just here, clearing out more on this mountain. That guy just walked off. Homie said bye. Where's the machine gun? Alright. There we go. We're collecting a lot of machine gun ammo here. Very handy, very handy, very handy. That's what we need. 235 machine gun ammo. Let's see. That's good enough for me. I don't think I need any more than that. I think that's good enough for me to go through Miser's Palace with. So let's go back up there. God. The fact that they didn't offer me any ammo at the end of Escabone, and I think I could have walked into the room in the back, too. But, like, I don't know. It feels weird to just go back to your healing zone instead of just progressing forward. It feels like cheating, which is the dumbest thing I've ever said, but sometimes you can't explain how the brain works. Alright, this time I won't die. This time, I will break through and open that Life Force door. It'll be easy. And if I run out of machine gun ammo, I will cry! It's like, why are the opening areas all cinch? Actually, you know what? The reason's probably because so you can't easily cheese ammo like that. So you have to play through more of the world to get there. Like, I didn't want to go through Escabone to get the ammo refill because I would have had to go through like 4 long-ass rooms. But, you know, just shooting the guns out of people also works. Alright, let's see. Let's take this. Let's just pick up the tribals, you know? On the off chance that I ever go back to this file. I don't remember how long Lupus's section was. I know you get night vision goggles here for some reason. Like, that doesn't do anything for Lupus's abilities, but I think there might be other areas where there's night vision. But it just seems so pointless that that was like a feature. I am missing so many shots right now. Please. My aim, please. Alright. These guys are killing themselves, I think. I also love how, like, they, like, walk with, like, stubby little feet. Like, they look like they're, like, trying really hard to walk, like, quietly is what they... They look so funny. Alright, buddy. Good night. Sleep tight, buddy. He's struggling. That guy's having a crisis. Like such a diva, dude. Drama queen, please. You're only a little dead. I have a sniper rifle. How am I gonna get through this next section? This is where we get the night vision goggles, isn't it? Yeah, this is just such a weird thing. Like, we can't go through the door normally. We have to take the night vision goggles and go through that way. Like, it's just such a strange... Like, I don't know what the purpose of this was. Like, they could have just made another dark area, and then, like, I don't know. It just seems so pointless to have the night vision here. But there's ammo. Oh, thank God, machine gun ammo. Cool, that's enough. Thankfully, they also stopped throwing shield enemies at us, so we can just collect these guns here, and not have to worry about spending like an entire 100 ammo to kill these drones. Because that was annoying. Now we can just very simply put... Boop, boop, boop. Alright. And then we go down here. I don't remember how long this cavern was, also. If there's a Life Force store, I will be upset. If they don't just let me go out through the end. Oh, hey, more tribals. Oh, it's over for you guys. You made a mistake putting that tri-rocket launcher ammo there. I'm gonna go ham now. Time for Elliot to have some fun. Boom! I'm sorry. Were you trying to be a lot? For real? You were hiding, like, behind a door? Get the hell out of here. I'm gonna machine gun you. If that's how you're gonna play, that's how you're gonna deal with it, I have no sympathy for you. Alright, what the heck is down here? I thought that was gonna be like a hole. I would have been so upset if that just killed me for no reason. Alright. This looks like we're somewhere we haven't been yet because, you know, it's empty. Or it was an empty... It was somewhere we fell off to. So this has got to be fine. Oh, that was a lot of healing too. Oh, it's also going to be important to make sure that Lupus has items, because Lupus is the one who fights the boss. I'm pretty sure they're going to give me, like, full item ups when we get there, but I don't want to just assume. I think this is the exit. Let me out. There we go. Yes. So that wasn't too bad. Aside from the random night vision, it just doesn't make sense to me. Alright, and then... I think there's, like, something hidden over here. There's a tribal over there, but I already missed a lot of tribals, so it's whatever. And here we have to make sure we don't mess up the jump. So boop. Oh god. There we go. There's a bunch of tribals over here. I swear, if that's the only if I left that tribal for dead and there's only 2 other tribals in this room, I might feel a little bad. Jump. Ooh. Then we have grenade capacity increases. There's a lot of capacity increases, but they're really not throwing me any actual items. Any actual ammo. What is with this game's, like, strange fixation on giving me grenades? Like, I feel like every character just had a bunch of grenade pickups. Aw, man. I really do have to go back to get that guy. I can't just not leave it at 1 tribal. That's so rude. I could have sworn that I didn't, like, that I skipped a lot of that previous section. So I was like, alright, I can come back to get all those tribals. Oh god, I almost fell off. Alright, and we're almost to the Mizar boss fight. And that's when the game really opens up. Easy. 100%, 100%. All tribals obtained. Mizar's Palace, no sweat. I definitely did not jump close enough to the edge. I would have died. Alright, let's do this. Boom. This is so terrifying. That chasm is like almost like max range. I think it's like a couple seconds short. But that's just so rude. Alright, so now we can go through here. There we go. All the tribals are rescued. Now the question is, where the hell... Oh, that makes sense. Lupus is the one... I guess because you would typically go through Mizar's Palace as Lupus first. Now the next question is, does the Mizar boss fight restore all my ammo immediately? I hope the answer is yes. Alright. And now we have Lupus entering the fray. Everyone's here. So Lupus walks in, he's the last one here. I love how the pistol looks on his back, too. It looks like an air horn. Or like, it looks like a scope. Alright. So now we take this last lift. Just hovers over. This guy's got so much swagger. He's just hovering in. He is so cool. He's not even actually on it. I can see he's like slightly hovering above it. Hover dog. We really gotta sit through the scene 3 times. Shaken. Alright, so now... I think what happens is that it's revealed that Juno and Veil get kidnapped immediately after we teleport, and now Lupus has to play hero, which I thought was one of the coolest things. I thought this scene was so cool, or the following scene. Like, you finally get all 3 of them back together, and then you get to roll up, and Lupus, the hero, the dog, man's best friend. Oh. So yeah, now that we're here, we get this next scene. All 3 of them. I think they all appear. Let's see. There's just so much dramatic tension that they like build up with these cutscenes. I think that's gonna be Gino first. You look like Banjo-Kazooie, like lighting effects. Like, Those look so out of place in Jet Force Gemini, like the stars. I feel like the sparks make sense, but the stars just look so cheesy. Ah, there it is. The lair. The opening of Mizar's palace. He fucking does the SpongeBob thing! The squat, the sponge gar. And there we go. That's the big bad. That's our boy Mizar. We're seeing POV. Look at that! He's huge! He's got scorpion legs, he's got a metal hand, he's like the combination of all the bosses that we just fought. He's got like the metal scythe, he's got like the legs from the queen, and he's got like the claws, which was from Juno's boss. It's like he's like all together, and then Juno pulls out his gun! And Mizar's like, psych! He's like laughing at his gun, dude. He should have shaken at the tri-rocket launcher. Alright, what's happening now? It's been a while since I saw this scene. Is he just gonna capture him? Is that really just what happens? Gonna hit him with the power of the stars? He just straight up gets destroyed. Ooh! Very good usage of the death animation. Wow, he just eats it, dude. Like, this is such a long cutscene for what amounts to Lupus saves the day. I feel like a lot of these cuts could be a lot shorter. Is that he just walks away? Like, do we have to see... I really hope we don't have to see Vila do things. I think Vila and Lupus might teleport in at the same time and Vila takes care of Juno while Lupus goes fight. Oh, wait! Juno's still up! One last act of defiance. And there's Vila. He's rising up, and then there's Lupus. It's the squad! The Jet Force Gemini is here! And she's gonna try rocket launcher, dude! Of all the guns, she just pulls that one out. Let's go! Vila knows how to fight a boss. I don't even think I had the tri-rocket launcher equipped. She just coming in, guns blazing. She got the MF Thang on her. Like, Juno's coming in with a machine gun? Come on, dude. That's weak shit. What an awkward transition, too. They had to fade in and out for the same walking animations just to change the bottom. They couldn't have just made it transition into it. Alright, and here's the battlefield. I remember this, like, very vividly. Like, this is, like, when I think of boss fights, this is the second thing I think about. Especially with the way that, like, you have the side, like, the side-to-side movement. Like, this is Lupus's boss fight. I just think get two good boss fights, man. Like, concept, at least. He's the one who fights Mizar. Oh! Lupus is like, I'm small. I'm about to do it. Yeah, because he hovers over it. This guy does not care. Look at that! He's just slowly sailing over it. I can't get over that. He's not even like... It doesn't even look dynamic. He's just standing on all fours and then just hovering. Ooh! Alright. And now... Please tell me my ammo is refilled. If my ammo's not refilled, I will cry. Oh, this sucks ass. We have to find when he blinks, because that's how all boss fights work. Wait, can I shoot him? Can I shoot him? Oh, he's shining, yeah. Alright, I don't have any homing missile ammo, though. I don't have any ammo. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's shoot his face, I guess. Shoot him in the head! Shoot him in the head! That all that glows. I think that is. I think it's just his face, yeah. There we go. Oh god, I didn't mean to jump. There we go. He keeps on rubbing his face. Bro, you need some, like, moisturizer or something? You feeling crusty? Look at that, every time. He's constantly just dealing with his face. You got a rash or something, buddy? I don't know how I'm dodging that either. I'll be honest. Wah. Ow. Alright, can't do... I wonder if the 300 machine gun ammo is enough. But it's not explosive. Ow, that does quite a bit of damage. Let me stop standing still. But, like, it's so, like, tempting to just stand still when you're fighting a boss like that. You know? Like, I'm in the right position, I don't need to change my aim while I move. Oh, cool. That was easy. Easy, but wait, was that it? I feel like I remember it being harder. That's such an easy boss fight. I could have sworn it was a harder one. Look at him. Look at him in pity. You dared defy the rule of Mizar? Yeah, this is pretty much like the last story bit that happens. Because what happens now, he's threatening to destroy the world because he must go now, his planet needs him. He just straight up flies without moving his legs at first. So he's gonna pull a Sonic Adventure 2 before Sonic Adventure 2 came out. He's gonna take this meteoroid, and he's gonna crash that John into the Earth. Live and learn! Hanging on the edge of tomorrow! Live and learn! Yeah, many would have simply ignored our plight. So King Jeff is like... Yeah, now Earth is fucked because we stopped Mizar. And then King Jeff has the audacity to say, yeah, you know what? I'm only gonna help you if you save every single one of the tribals. Also, how did he get a computer in that asteroid? Your Jet Force ships, they just won't get you there in time. Like, I think it's really funny that that happens, because you take so much time saving all the tribals to build this ship. But I swear to God, you would save so much time just taking our own ships instead of trying to spend like 20 years building this ship up. 12 parts have gone missing, scattered far and wide. The final piece I myself still own. It's the stabilizer. He owns the piece! He just can't give it to me! It's yours when all the tribals are free. Sorry to be so mercenary about it, asshole. If you can collect all 12 parts, our flagship may take flight once again. Like, come on, dude! The pause menu will record your progress. Like, you put so much into this. Oh yeah, we can upgrade your armor too. This is really cool. We'll even throw in a jetpack attachment, which you can charge on designated pads. So they tell you how to use it. God, it would be so cool if you could use the jetpacks whenever. But like, again, like every character's supposed to have their own special thing. And Lupus losing what makes him special by everyone being able to fly no matter what would be pretty bad feeling. Well, they could make it so that Lupus could fly longer or something, but I would really struggle to figure out how a tank could fly longer than people in jetpacks. And this is the last of it. And once this cutscene's over, I am gonna take a little pee break, because I'm holding it in a little bit. But I will leave it at the title screen so you can admire their new armor. Because it's really cool to see how it like changes from them running into Goldwood, from them in their armor running through Mizar's Palace. I think it's my favorite of the title screens they have. Oh, this is so neat. The armor upgrades. And it ends up being like what you remember like their outfits looking like the most. Especially like Lupus in the tank. This is so neat. There we go. They don't even need a transformation animation. They just put them in these little funny pods. And then... Wah. Do they really need to flash the screen white for this? Those things better be down. Oh, God. And we drop. And then we'll see them in their new armor. Look at Lupus! He's in a tank! Lupus is a whole-ass tank. Gino gets more of a mask and, like, body armor. Vila gets armor literally everywhere except where her skin was already exposed. And she gets spats. I forgot about that. She does, in fact, get spats underneath her skirt. Which is A+, or S+ tier, I will say. Skirt and spats combo Very good. Juno's got his mask. Vila's got her armor. Like I think her arms are more covered, and like her top also looks more armory, despite being like boot armor. And Lupus is just a head out of a tank. Words cannot explain how that is like the best character upgrade in a game like ever. You go from being dog to being tank. All right. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna save the game, and I'm going to take a short little break, and then we're gonna go through for a little bit longer. I just want to showcase some of the differences between going through the new worlds with everyone. So let's save. Save the game. I'm gonna quit out for a second, and I want to collect some of the ship parts just to show how much more exploration you had to go through here. So we'll quit and save. And I will be right back. Let me just set up my be right back. Just so no one thinks I'm just AFK, like, without reason. Do I have it? I thought I had it set up somewhere. I had it set up here, I think. No, I do not. Well, give me a second. Let me put a text here just so everyone knows that I will be right back. And add a new source. Source, and will return in a second. Faculty meeting. Just a quick faculty meeting, you know. Be right back. Let me pick my font. There we go. We'll make that bigger. Make it a little bit bigger, and we'll have the title screen running. Just give me a sec here. I can fit this here. I know how to fit text here. all those sips I took. All right, I'm gonna be right back. Hang tight, everybody. I am back. Let me just clear this text out. And we're here. Sorry for the wait. Let's take a look now. Let's take a look here. 4 hours and 12 minutes, even though I only played for a little bit of that time. So, what we're gonna do... Let's see, what would be a good... We're gonna take Juno. We're gonna take Juno, and we're gonna visit one of the earlier worlds. We're gonna visit Skemmet. Because there is something very cool that I think happens here. So let's take a trip back here. We're gonna leave, and we're gonna go to the first of Vila's worlds. And I think it's really cool here. So you can see now all the worlds are connected, which is really sick. And we go to the right. So I'm going to Sekhmet because there's a very obvious area where you have to use Juno. there is a room that is filled with a lot of lava, and pretty much you just walk through it as Juno, while Vila has to like tiptoe around the entire area. And that area has one of the ship parts. And it's also a pretty good world to go to because it has very obvious jetpack areas. So you'll see how the jetpacks work as well. Like, I think this is a really cool way to like sort of break from like the linearity of the worlds and make it a lot more open. And I really like how they like, once you get past Mizar's Palace, it really like they just take off the brakes. It's just like, here you go, the training wheels are off, do whatever you want now. There's no more story cutscenes until you beat the game. So we're in Sekhmet. And it has its own little ambient noise for its introduction like area, as all these intro areas do. I don't think Juno has the green key though. I think he gets it here. So we have to get the green key. And we'll see. After we go through a couple rooms, there's going to be some pretty obvious jetpack areas. And this definitely sounds like a place that would be called a battle cruiser. I think it's very fitting with the name. It sounds like very much like military music. Like, I really would have trouble like docking any of the stages for like their music. Like, I feel like every track is at least a 7, if not better. A lot of 9s, a lot of 10s in this track. I would rate this one like a pretty solid like 8, maybe a 7. Because this one, it's very consistent in its melody, but the melody doesn't have like a very like standout melody aside from like the first few seconds. He just point blanked me with that grenade. That was pretty cold-blooded. Like straight up, just like I walked up to him and he just chucked that John on the ground, killing himself and doing a couple of damage to me. It's respectable, honestly, you know, like he doesn't have to kill himself to do that, to like do as much damage as he did to me. But you know what? If that's what he needs to do, that's what he needs to do. Alright, so now we can go through here and we can visit some areas that Vila couldn't visit or like didn't have the tools to do so with. For example, when we go through this room. Oh wait, this is not where the green key is. This was another item. This was a machine gun. And this is a green key room. Huh. I guess I never went here as Vila, so that is something I would have to backtrack to. And that's the case of backtracking that I don't like. Backtracking that I could have done before that, now I have to re-enter the world to do. Well, once we get to that lava section, which is a bit of ways off, but, you know, I'm a lot stronger than I was when I entered the world, so I can go a little bit more ham. The only problem is just actually walking there, because, you know, walking, you can only go so fast on your 2 legs. Pick up some heals as well. Even though, like, having 2.5 full circles of HP is pretty much equivalent to having as much HP as you would in this level, because this is, like, one of the first levels. It still just feels safer to just have full HP no matter what. No reason not to have full HP. Alright, so here it is. Here's the first area that we'll see where we're going to be using jetpacks. So if we go up here... Oh wait, this is a red key room. I have one of those. We'll see. You stand on one of these fuel pads, and each fuel pad is different because I guess they wanted to limit where exactly you could go. So this fuel pad only fills you up to the yellow. But now any character can fly. Oh god. And it also looks like the game is just having trouble doing this. The game is just like chugging. So let's go up here. And it's so neat how they have like these areas that like you always were able to see, but you weren't able to get to because you obviously didn't have the resources to. But now that like the game has expanded, it's just like it's like they took off like a mask. It's like they took something off. And here we can see like on your first go through this world, you wouldn't be able to get all the tribals because again, that tribal was already locked in a jetpack only room. And like you see this track over here, and like what, you would never be able to get it normally. You just see that it's up there and you see 2 doors when you look up when you come from the room in the bottom. So it's really neat to see like the areas that you saw in the past and how they actually really did connect. I love that kind of level design. I love like how you can see how things come together. Also, that's just weird. I mean, it makes sense that the areas where you're like way atop on perches would be the place where you would get extra sniper rifle ammo. But it's just strange, because who uses the damn sniper rifle anyway? Alright, so we go through this door. And here, if I recall correctly, yes, we didn't find the lava room that I wanted to go to, but what's neat about this... So, you saw the worlds that I listed. There were 3 worlds for each character along with Mizar's Palace. But what the access to the jetpack does, and the access to, like, different mobility and characters being able to access areas other characters couldn't, we unlock new worlds. And none of these worlds are as long as the first 10 worlds, but it's just really cool that they have these really, like, tiny areas. So this is what we call, this is called the Water Ruin. And you can see, it's very, very clear what it is. It's a very small world. It's one island with a ruin on it. There's not really much to do. There's a ship part here, I think, and there's also proximity mines. So it's like, it's none of the things that you would have really wanted, but it's stuff that's just cool to mess around with. You know, I don't think I would ever really find a use for, I don't think I would ever find a use for proximity mines in, like, playing a single player campaign. Like, I don't need to plan that far ahead to kill some enemies. It's just not particularly useful. But it's cool that they give those to you, just like so you can try to use them. And I mean, they are usable in multiplayer mode as well, so it's just cool to like give players a taste of that. And I actually really think this is a very cool theme. Like the harp playing. Look at this guy, he's just sitting. Look at him! He's an absolute unit! Ivana Bear. I'm starting to get grouchy now. Oh, right. The Anubis is a cargo ship. If you're headed that way, see if your little robot can rustle us up. So yeah, this is an example of that whole, like, the worlds being connected and, like, needing things from other places. I went to the SS Anubis, or I actually didn't show it on stream, but there's a room in the SS Anubis that you see very early on with Floyd's icon, and that's where you have to go to get the item here. And what you get for doing that, what you get for, like, doing that little, what looks like a side quest, is actually one of the ship parts. So it's like they put, like, a little bit of everything everywhere. So there's just so many different things, so many different places to explore, like, once, like, the game really opens up. And I think that's really, like, what makes me appreciate, like, the work that was put into this game and all the stuff that you can do in it. Also, I believe that there is a jetpack. Oh, here it is. You can see they even have a weapons chest here, and that gives us the timed mines. Oh, these are timed mines, not proximity mines. You get the proximity mines somewhere else. They do exist. But, if I'm not mistaken, there should be a jetpack pad here somewhere. It's either that or Lupus has to be the one to collect all these tribals. But it's like kind of like a puzzle trying to figure out like who you have to take into each world in order to like do specific tasks. So let me go back. Let's backtrack a little bit again. Let us go to... Let's see. I want to see another world. Also, you can... I like how you can use a C-stick to switch characters throughout maps as well. So there's Goldwood, Anubis, there's Escabone, there's Rathessa. There's the spawn ship. We're gonna go to the spawn ship. The spawn ship has some pretty important stuff as well. I showed it a little bit when I beat Vila's world. But going back here with Vila, there's a couple of water areas that you'll see also required, like, backtracking. And it's so cool to me. Just, it's such a simple concept. But the way they extended the game, like, in this way, by just... What seemed to be what probably just secrets were actually, like, what you needed in order to beat the game. Like, just, that's where the content was. I think it's really cool. I do wish that we didn't have to see the landing sequence every time we went to a world, though. So yeah, I think, like, just... I don't know, I just love finding, like, things that feel, like, out of place or, like, secret or, like, being able to do things you couldn't do, which, again, takes me back to that whole, like, Metroidvania concept. It's just really neat. So we're gonna go fill stuff up here. And now... This area, actually, I talked about how glass in one of the other rooms was breakable, but this is not one of those same cases. You know, I could try as I might. Shoot this as many times as possible. There's nothing here. It's like a rare example, I think, actually. I feel like more often than not, you can shoot those things open. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta deal with what you got. And then... what it is. The spawn ship was like a strange stage in the sense that like there weren't that many rooms, but it feels like it because like there's a lot of different hallways, and if you fall down any of these high up areas, you get brought to a main hallway. So there's just like it's really easy to get messed up here. Do I have the red key as Vila? I don't think I do. I do. Cool. So that makes a lot of the world easier. If we go down here, you can see there is a door here, and none of the other characters would be able to go down there. So Vila is the one that has to, and wow. There's, again, those yellow droids that I guess they're surrendering. One of them is. Let me go pick up some of those guns. They dropped some ammo for me, so, like, I might as well just kill them with it. They're surrendering. Easy, GG, FF20. So, and that's what I'm talking about, like, you would never be able to get here as any of the other characters. And now we have, like, look at this little cramped hallway. This is not what you would have to deal with as Lupus ever. Not in this world, at least. But they can put an area with strong enemies like this because it's not meant for you to access until later in the game. It's like, I don't know, it's just really neat. Like, I can't even think you could, like, sequence break this. You just really can only get here when you have, like, the stats to deal with it. I also don't know if this is the best way to approach this room. Pistol ammo. Really? They're gonna be cheap on me and give me pistol ammo? That's so rude. Alright, so let's go over here. Let's circle around. Machine gun. And that's another life force door cleared. Wait, did I? I feel like I might have missed something there, you know? So, over here. Yeah, nothing. We didn't miss anything here. And this track here, as I've been talking about every track, not as memorable, I'm gonna be honest. This is a good track, don't get me wrong, but it's not like a standout track. I would say that this is one of the weaker ones. It's got some cool parts, but overall, I don't think it's as interesting to listen to. What's in this? What do we got here? We have a chest open. I think it's proximity. Oh, we got our taser! This weapon does nothing. This weapon is actually just a meme weapon. And we can summon this guy. And pretty much, even if there's not any specific, like... there's not a specific, weapon that you need to get, most characters can pretty much do something important in each of these worlds, because revisiting them with a jetpack gives you just a lot more to be able to do, because, I mean, every world has something to do with the jetpacks. This is also one of my least favorite usage of jetpacks. It's not to a new room, it's just... Why is that box floating in the air? There's no reason for that to be there, aside to just be a tribal out of reach. But, like, Vila would be the only one able to get there anyway, and Vila could only get there if she had the jetpack. But it's redundant because the jetpack is supposed to be, like, barring you off from getting things that you're not supposed to get until later. But by being here as Vila, it seems a little redundant. Alright, so that's one. I think that's the main area that's, like, cut off. But every single one of these rooms is covered in water, so I might as well give each of those rooms a look. You know, it might be important. There might be something worth looking for in each of these rooms. I feel like at least one of these rooms has it. But yeah, once you fall off the top area here, you always end up falling back down into this section, which is just like... Alright, you fell down. It's like in, like, a Pokemon. Like, when you have those areas, like Sky Pillar. You always get brought down to the first floor, and the first floor is there just for you to have, like, a central area to, like, fall down to. It makes sense. It made more sense in my head what I just said. But there's a lot of examples of games that have that. Like, that kind of, like, downstairs section in a place that takes place mostly upstairs. Just in case you fall down. Okay, so let's go check out... We have these two other doors. I think one of them also has another water section. So let's see what we got here. I never picked this up. There were just homing missiles here? Okay, buddy. How do I target this easily? Machine gun. I cannot aim. Excuse me? Excuse me, what is my aim here? I, like, somehow aimed everywhere except for where these ships were at. But we got him. We got him in the end, and that's all that matters. Cool. You know, I might as well try to just go for all the tribals here, because, I mean, I don't think there's any in lava. And that's really the only place that would, like, Vila can't access here. Everything else, like, there's nothing that strictly requires hovering. So we can just pick this little guy up. And this is pretty much what a lot of, like, the second half of Jet Force Gemini amounts to. Just going room to room, rescuing every tribal. And I love the game. I love how this game plays to death. But I really, really just can't get over the fact that it wasn't even like a percentage of tribals you have to save. It's literally all of them. All tribals gotta be saved. And it's just like, I get it, story-wise, but fuck you, Jeff. That's all I have to say. It's just such a ridiculous, like, requirement, because, like, you think about all the other, like, Rareware collectathons, and they just... None of them ask that much of the player. None of them ask the player to just get literally everything. Like Banjo-Kazooie, you can be with, I think, 80 or 90 Jiggies. You don't need to get all 100. Like, Banjo-Tooie, the same thing. You don't need all 100 Jiggies, you can beat that at 80. And I don't think Donkey Kong 64 even requires that much, considering how many people break that game with speedruns. But there's no way around it in this game. Jet Force Gemini doesn't have a way to beat the game faster. You just have to collect all tribals. I, would be surprised to see if someone actually speedran this game. Because you just have to go through so many rooms. Like, it basically would just have to be a perfect clear. If any of the black ants kill a tribal, you're just done. Dunzo, that's it. It's over. You're finished. Sayonara. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's so weird that they made such a big requirement here. Also, I don't want to deal with this guy. I don't want to deal with that room. Let's see. And we have these doors here. Oh, wait. I think... No, Lupus can't be the one to clear it because... I think there's probably just a fuel pad over here. I was like thinking, how do I get that tribal up on the door? Oh, this door though. Goodbye, Mr. Sniper Ant. Ow. I can snipe you. I can snipe you as well as you can snipe me. I cannot believe my aim here. This is so hard. This game is too difficult. Is this the room with the brown ant also? Oh no. Beat you to it, buddy. No tribals are dying on my watch. However, let's use this jetpack here. Oh, I think I know the reason. The reason why this exists is because the yellow key. Not every character has the yellow key, so they have to be able to fly into this, and thus. Can I get it here? No, we cannot. So you have to get the yellow key elsewhere, I guess. I don't remember if I got it as Vila already. Ugh. Another sad thing is that the jetpack fuel doesn't carry over from room to room. Like, they made it really restricted, because I guess people would probably find ways to break the game really hard if you could. If you didn't need to sequence break this. Like, if you could just, like, carry jetpack fuel over from room to room, like this room here. But yeah. This is the room. This is, like, the first room where it's, like, really would be really obvious. Like, yeah, I have to take Juno here because he's the guy who can run through lava. And I'm actually going to do that because spawn ship's really short. So we'll be able to do that. And there's all this lava. It's very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. But yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the end of the world, essentially. So we're going to do just one more, just to show getting one of the ship parts. I think that's, like, the easiest ship part to get. And then we'll be done. And we'll call it there. I think that's a pretty good showcase of Jet Force Gemini, just really just showing off all the things in the game. Because once you get to this part of the game, it's just like a scavenger hunt. You think like the Triforce hunt from Wind Waker is something that it reminds me of, you know? Like, you do all the stuff, like you get the 3 pearls in the Wind Waker, and then suddenly it just becomes a scavenger hunt across the entire ocean for, I think it's like 12 pieces of the Triforce. And it's like, it's such a big, like, hit to, like, the pacing of the story, because, you know, you've been going from dungeon to dungeon, doing all these things, and then fishing. Let's lower down our boosters. And we're just gonna speed through this real quick, just to show off Juno's ability to walk on lava. Though I don't know if he has the yellow key himself. I'll have to check that. I'm pretty sure he does. I know he has a red key. That's the first key that we get, and I did that on stream. But inventory, let's see. He only has a red key. I want to believe that the yellow key will be in that room, but Juno might have to get it from another source. And if that's the case, then, well, that'll probably be it regardless. So let's take a look-see. Let's go travel. Where's my homing missiles? Juno doesn't have homing missiles. I forgot. I never got them. Oopsies! Get out of here. That was really satisfying. Nothing more satisfying than blowing an entire, like, getting a 6 kill with that. Show me that. What is that? 600% accuracy? I'm never firing another tri-rocket launcher again. Right, we're gonna refuel this. And if there's no yellow key, then I'll be upset. And you can see, as an example, the brown drone just straight up murdering the tribals in cold blood. It's only those ones that go for it. Ow. Get out of here. Well, let's see. Yes. So Juno, as long as a character doesn't have a key, they can get the key from where anyone else finds it, which is pretty neat. I don't know if there's anywhere else that you're supposed to get this for him. That's how it works. So we can go back now. Let me... Oh god, I equipped the fish food. Get the hell out of here. Will this reach them? This is gonna be silly, but... I did not kill him. I killed another guy instead. Sorry, Jeff. I just straight up murdered a tribal with a proximity mine. It's a little rude. I love how he falls off too. Just falls forward. It's like, I don't know. This is like one of my childhood games, and it's really cool to just go through it and like replay through a lot of the parts that like fascinated me as a kid, you know? Like this, realize that I could do this without any danger was just really awesome. And then you can see, like, you go over here, you can get cluster bomb increases, that's supposed to be homing missile, this is tri-rocket launcher, all of our explosives. No, that's time mine. Like, it's cool that, like, these characters have at least, like, guaranteed, like, areas where they're supposed to get powered up. And now we have 40 tri-rockets, and that's supposed to be another 20 homing missiles. Like, it just makes you feel so much stronger when you don't have to worry about ammo as much. And then, we go through here, and then I believe the ship part is in this room. We go through here, and what we get, yep, there we go. You can see that that's one of the ship parts. It's a key with Juno's icon on it. So we just go in there. Ship part, check the menu for details. So what it is, right? There's a lot of different parts in the game, like I said, 12 parts. That one is the hatch key. So obviously, like, they're each assigned a part because, you know, they gotta do something. So Juno's hatch key allows access to Juno's pod. And then there's, like, Viola's hatch key. They each have their own hatch key. And then they have all these things, the fin, the fuse, all these different parts that they're all hidden throughout the world. And, like, that's, like, your final scavenger hunt. But I don't know, I just think it's, like, really cool how they developed the world with that in mind. Like, the worlds are already pretty long as is. Like, the earlier worlds take a little bit to go through. Like, maybe, like, 20 to 40 minutes. Maybe 20 to 50 minutes if it's one of the worlds with the bosses. But then you realize how much wider these worlds are. Like, Juno's the only one who can do this. So, obviously, you gotta take him to Spawn Ship. Viola's the only one who can go underwater. Gotta take her to Goldwood because there's a lot of underwater areas there. Lupus can fly. Better take him to anywhere where we saw a giant pit. So I just love how they did this, how they, like, organized everything. Also this. You can actually sequence break and get this as Lupus as well, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to just do this as Juno. Because Lupus will take a ton of damage through the lava, but it's close enough to the platforms where he can just do that. But yeah, I think that's where I'll call it. Because really the rest of the game is just exploring the world for ship parts, and I don't think there's really much to talk about aside from like where they hit everything. So we're gonna just go onto a ship. It feels pretty fitting to end the game on a ship scene. So let's just go over here, and it's just like, I'm trying to find the words. Yeah, there's just really not much else to talk about. Like, at the start of the game, there's so much like to talk about with the mechanics and how everything's connected, and then once you beat Mystar's Palace, you know that everything is connected, and like you know how like every other character fits into these worlds. And then yeah, so here then it just takes you back. There's no ship sequence, and so what I'm going to do, I might as well just pick a random world. I guess Sekhmet did have another area with lava, so I'll just put Geno there. So that is Jet Force Gemini. It's definitely, it definitely stands out a lot more in terms of like uniqueness compared to the other Rareware games of that time. Because, you know, there was Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, Donkey Kong 64. All four of those games were 3D collectathons, 3D platformers. Then there was like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, which were just first-person shooters. I think they had another, I don't think they made the other GoldenEye game though, the 007 game. And then they had like Mickey's Cruisin' and also Diddy Kong Racing, which are racing games. But like in terms of like this third-person shooter collectathon, it's like a weird mishmash of genres. To me, it seems like they were like trying to put together what they did with GoldenEye and Banjo-Kazooie, and I feel like it came out really well, despite the fact that like, you know, I don't think these characters are as memorable or as iconic. So like, you know, it kind of flew under the radar. It's not a game that would catch your interest just from the box art alone, but the game just does so many things that I think are really neat. So I thank you guys all for coming, and we'll save the game, and I think we'll just find someone to raid now. So let's see who's online. Who can we pay a visit to? Let's see. Who's available? Who can we drop by? Let's see. Ooh, is that Colt doing karaoke? I'm a fan of karaoke. I'm a fan of cowboys. So let's go give Colt a view. Let's give Lone Star Colt a raid. He's a very cool cowboy who's also extremely good at fighting games. So let's go visit Lone Star Colt, if you would, with me. Thank you for coming to the stream, everybody. It was wonderful to talk with everybody. It was wonderful to just keep on going and rambling and everything. And I'll see you tomorrow if you want to do some Japanese review. And that's it. Class is dismissed.